everyone, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show.
So funny, I was like super empowered. I don't think I could sleep.
Still follows the same rules, has the same characters and all that stuff,
Yes.
but it just tweaks it a little bit.
You're reading fantasy, and it's so grounded. It's so completely grounded in reality.
Rule clarification, if we both get it wrong, do we get bonus points?
Soldier Simmons, it is my pleasure to now pin you, raising you from the rank of soldier to dedicated.
That didn't happen in the books, but it was awesome.
I nailed it.
I nailed that.
I nailed it. Let me bring you comfort about Egwene. I know you haven't seen her in a month, but let me tell you this story about how badass she is right now.
That fight scene, my boy went through 5 daggers.
Everybody's flower is different. I think we learned that in the books. This is I think for me, top 5 moments ever on screen.
When I read it, I felt empowered. I felt called to action.
One of the best quotes in the whole series is when Gaul says, "Do you like to dance, Baron Abara?"
The Knights Who Say Chill,
AKA the band of really, really nice good guys.
Let a couple more drink on.
You're entertained everywhere.
I am.
Do you have a chaser should you need it?
Can I have a little bit of mine too?
Oh, no.
Yo, this is good.
Young people do like this now or something instead of this.
Oh, they do. It's like this.
The heart emoji.
Don't jiggle, jiggle.
It folds. I like the way you wiggle,
You
for
wiggle.
show. We're going to review the entirety of season 1 of the Wheel of Time, the whole thing, finale of Rings of Power. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. Hello, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. We are back after the mid-season episode. But we're excited. We're very excited to be here. We're so excited to have everybody in the chat. I see you. I've been chatting with you. I actually got a little distracted, which is why it took me a couple seconds after it said going live soon to actually go live. We are back with Max Anthony, everybody's big brother from TikTok, a very special show-only guest. That means that he has not read the books graciously, even though I'm sure he would in an instant if we let him. But he is watching the show fresh, and I think for this episode especially, that is going to be extremely interesting to have that perspective here, because we're all, us three, we're book nerds. Like, we knew what kind of to expect from this episode, and let me just say that they delivered. But from a book reader's perspective. But we'll see if the same is true for a show-only person's perspective. So, Jessica Sadai, one of my beloved mods in the chat, mentioned this, but I will remind everyone that while we are show-only, please keep spoilers out of the chat, because there might be people in the chat that are also show-only. Thank you so much in advance for that. We promise we will do book spoilers once Max leaves, approximately an hour from now, and it maybe approximately, we'll see. But until then, please keep it show-only in the chat. The 4 episodes are totally clear, and previous seasons totally fine. Okay, I really want to get into this discussion. So, as usual, we're going to start with introductions. If you were here the last time Max was here, you know a little bit about him, but just in case you weren't, we're going to have him introduce himself once again. So, Max, who are you, and what got you into what?
Hi, so like I said, my name is Max Anthony. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you all again if you were here last time. I was first introduced to the Wheel of Time through my fan-friggin-tastic aunt, Winespring right there. Yep, from the very first episode being launched, so you should watch it. You should watch it too. Thanksgiving being told probably 20 times within probably maybe an hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. Have you watched it? Have you finished watching it? You should probably watch it again.
That's not a joke. That's
Not even no,
true.
literally. Oh. So I went ahead and said, sure, yep. So I went back and rewatched it all from start to finish, and now we're here.
I love that somebody just said Max equals Wolf Brother.
Because of the Delgos. I love
Nice. That works well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I got 2 of them back there.
I love it. Well, what are their names? Did we say?
Actually, very simple. Also, big one right here is that's Bubba. He's a German Shepherd Doberman Pinscher mix. And then the back, that one's Sissy with Bubba thing. Then I was like, okay, we'll have to match them now. So Sissy's in the back. She's a German Shepherd something smaller mix because she's a little bit smaller and she's a little bit pudgy. She's the cutest thing ever. She's super cute.
Nice.
So yeah, Bubba
They
and
are
Sissy.
cute.
Somebody in the chat goes, Winespring is his aunt. Is she an Aes Sedai? What's going on there? That's Dr. Gentech.
It's my eldest son.
Son?
My eldest sister's son.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, holy cow, you are an Aes Sedai.
Eldest son.
Magic.
Okay. Jessica Sedai says 1 million of 10 would smoosh them puppers in like an affectionate way, I'm sure. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming back. We had such a good time with you last time, so this is awesome, and we hope to have you back again, unless we have major fights while we're on stream tonight. Which
Probably not.
I don't anticipate. But okay, before we get started, though, Winespring, why don't you give us a little intro, other than the fact that you're Max's aunt?
That's me. I'm Winespring Cafe, Max's aunt. That's pretty good. I mean, it's a solid introduction right there. But you can find me on X at Winespring Cafe, where I have recipes in the article section, easy to find, that are based loosely on Wheel of Time content. So enjoy that.
Okay.
Please.
Eat her food, and the recipes
Eat
are
her
lit.
food.
She tweets X's. She X's them. She tweets them. She tweets them, and you can see them on her page. So you should follow her on X. Her food's amazing. Okay, Tav.
Can we just call them Twixes?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. She tweets
kinda cute, actually.
Yeah, it's like a Tweet X. It's like a Twix. It's like a Twix.
It's a Twix.
I am Tavern. I design merch for fandom stuff, primarily a Wheel of Time, but I'm going to be getting into other stuff. I'm also known in greater circles as Max's aunt's friend. If you're sure that counts. But yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I turned at the beginning of that, like, what? Where's this going?
Tav was the one who designed our logo. And you can get cups, and the links to all of his merch are in the description of this video. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's on the shirt for sure. Okay, and everybody's deets are in the description of this video, just so everyone's, just if you're curious where you can find everybody, Max included, that's where you can find it. I am Kritter XD. This is my YouTube channel. I am super pleased to be co-hosts of the Wheel of Chill show with Tav and Winespring. I am a Wheel of Time superfan. I do TikToks about it, and I have a Discord where we nerd out about stuff. I am Egwene Alvear and Kritter XD on X, Kritter XD on Blue Sky, on Instagram, all over the place. So wherever you do your social media thing, unless it's Facebook, I'll be there too. So come find me wherever you feel like hanging out. That sounds right. That sounds about pretty good. I've got I do merch too on Redbubble.
That's true.
I'm wearing a big dragon energy shirt. You can't see the bottom.
Fun.
Yeah, so I thought it was good for this episode, particularly, even though it's Kara Karn time, not Big Dragon Energy time. Tiny Pasha, thank you for the sub. Okay, let's talk.
Dana
about
Lou
this.
is also Max's aunt's friend.
I just saw that. That's pretty funny.
We all have.
Snag a photo of that.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, you're not late, Lear. We just did our introductions. It's time to get started. So, okay, I saw earlier in the chat, and I have this exact feeling. Max, high level, going into and coming out of this episode, what were the vibes for you?
Well, first off, I'm not going to mention the dragon thing you just mentioned, so now I'm very interested for what's going to happen in the near future.
I am really curious about his answer. I want to know how many dark friends he thinks are good people. From last episode.
Was she a dark friend?
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was like, I must have missed that part. Cool. I don't think I have anything too controversial this time. Not that I was marked out as that. I think it was a good episode overall. It was a lot was going into it, and it was very. Every part of the episode had its own very important piece. From the very beginning, where our main Spearess, who ends up being what was the term? Wise one, thank you.
Yep.
When her elders literally broke her spears in front of her, that's a big deal. That is a huge deal. Also, can we talk about how she just broke all three of them at once?
Yeah,
like,
that knee is super, like titanium. Aiel have titanium knees.
That's crazy. My mind's already in pain thinking about it. I think about one. But to do all of that, it was a big deal. I think they kind of pushed into it a little quick. Like, it went from nothing to like all of a sudden like, boom, this is what you're supposed to be. Like, there was no hinting or any kind of like little growth into it. It was just smack. I kind of wish there was a little more growth into it than just all of a sudden, I don't want to be this. You were gonna be this? Wait, what? But exactly. I'm glad you get it right. Yeah,
that's old tongue for what the fuck.
Yeah, right.
You're not. You're not wrong. So, sorry, let me stay on track. You asked about the beginning, about the ending. I really enjoyed the ending as well. I enjoyed seeing the confirmation with both showing up. It was just confirmation. I like seeing that. I thought it was interesting that they didn't show Egwene actually. No, wait, Egwene? No.
Moraine?
I'm thinking of Moraine. Thank you. I think it was hitting right, but it was a little off.
Yeah, a little off.
Moraine didn't actually show Moraine like coming to the ground or like finishing her stuff. It just showed him walking out with her.
Yeah.
My brain was like wants to see like, okay, so did something happen that wasn't shown? Did she actually fully go through everything, or did he like pull her down? I'm sure she went through it all, but like when they leave it open like that, it's very interesting as someone who hasn't read anything to be very curious, open-minded about, okay, what might have happened in those 2 seconds that would have made a big difference later on.
Okay.
But that is the answer to that before I get further into the episode itself.
Okay. That's great. And obviously the show faces limitations, and one of those limitations is time. So in the books, like, we know about Aviendha, like why Aviendha's being called back to the Waste. You know, they're like, but she's like, they want me to be a wise one. I don't want to be a wise one. And she's telling her friends this, and they're like, I'm so sorry, you know? And so it's definitely, there's more of a lead up in the books, but yeah, in the show, it's just like,
they've truncated it a lot. Like, they basically said you were called and you went over the spine of the world to find the Karakarn instead. Right. So considering that we saw, you've watched all seasons, correct? So in the first season, when we see the Aiel in a cage, right?
The episode with Tom Maryland, the guy was dead, and Tom Maryland and Matt buried him, and Matt was like wanting to steal out of his pockets. Anyways, so that Aiel, one, I mean, it's not from the books, but that shows us that they've been looking for the Karakarn all that time. So she's been away after being called for a while. So they tried to explain it with that little sentence about, you were called and you went away. And then the Moraine thing, I think they tried to explain that off by showing Aviendha laying on the ground as the result of the rings. So I would think that people would make the connection. Maybe there was a lot of confusing stuff in this episode. Honestly,
so I don't blame you.
So I think they didn't show the end of Moraine's stuff because, like, they want Moraine to be the one that communicates the thesis. They want Moraine to be the one that communicates.
You think there's going to be more of that?
I think Moraine is going to tell people what she gleaned from the test or from the rings, and they don't want us to have seen all of it. So that we can be like, we won't, we don't know exactly how things are going to play out, right? Because she's seen all of her possible futures. They want us to, they want to show us the one that's actually going to happen. I think is where I'm at. Also, everyone really loves the fact that you called Aviendha a spearess, Max.
Yeah,
they're really
might stick. Actually,
they're really digging it. Okay,
that might actually stick.
I think they really like it.
Cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I started the questioning. Winespring, did you have any questions for Max that you wanted?
I wanted to bring up something you mentioned when we were just hanging out talking about the episode, because that's what we can do. You said something interesting about the costuming with the of our heroes, the good, the non-dark friends, all dressed very dark with leather and boots and all this, and Lanfear's leading them, and that moment when they are like with her attacking Moraine. So would you like to share that a little
Sure.
bit?
The societal version of what I mentioned, or just the character that I pointed out? Because
I think both. It was really interesting. Like,
Okay, yeah.
It was yeah. Mhm.
Definitely. So the first one I had noticed, that's with most shows that I kind of wish they would stop doing. But in a lot of shows, whenever they show a dark side or a dark version of someone, they show the non-traditional version. Non-traditional clothes, piercings, tattoos, different styles of hair, different hair colors. The dark side is always just non-traditional, which is very interesting and funny considering people who usually do the worst things are hyper-traditional. So it's very interesting to show that that's gonna happen, especially even in shows, even in movies. The person who's the most perfect usually ends up being the secret bad person. So it's always interesting to show that kind of thing. And a certain beloved horn blower was in a very interesting outfit, very high hair, very kilt dress.
Yeah, the dress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You okay?
I don't know, my doorbell rang for some reason.
Oh, that's never creepy.
I hate people coming to my house. Anybody, like literally.
Why are you here?
on DoorDash, on Instacart, all of my delivery instructions are: do not ring the doorbell. Like, do not knock.
You'll know if that happens here. The dogs will go nuts.
Yeah, right.
Mine didn't go nuts, which is the only reason I know it. I was just in my head.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I honestly, as looking at those characters, right, in their alternate forms, I want to say that Perrin probably looked the coolest.
Oh, he looks. Oh my
Perrin,
god!
Nynaeve looks insane.
She does.
Yeah, she looks good. In anything.
She does,
So
but
good.
I said this on a different stream. I said Perrin, that was capital P with a Latino R in it. Perrin, that's who that was, because he looked incredible.
They all look really good though.
In the chat, I wanted to let you know, Max, that there's a Lisa Bonnet who says that they follow you on TikTok and didn't know that you were into what, and so they're excited to see you. That's cool. Crossing the streams.
Oh, gosh,
Why is that a thing that we keep saying crossing the street?
It works somehow.
So funny.
It's like streaming. It's like streaming Tourette's. Every time you say it, I have to say, "Don't cross the streets."
Okay. I don't know. Okay. We're moving on. All right. So
It's a tick.
let's just. Okay. So April Pixie agrees with me, which is why I'm reading this comment. That Moraine's going to explain her experience and what she gleaned from it. Some of it's in the trailer, right? So that's going to happen next episode, which I assume, which I'm really excited about. All right. So we started the episode with a little, if I'm remembering right, a little Rand and Lan mentorship situation. They're sword fighting. Rand is actually talking to Lan a little bit about what it's like to be a shepherd. How are you feeling about the Rand and Lan dynamic in the show, Max?
Oh, it's great. He needs a mentor. He had his dad. He had his father for the longest time, which of course isn't his biological, but let's be honest, it's his dad. He lost him. And this entire rest of the time, he hasn't had anyone to lean on. Everyone who's been around him or was supposed to fulfill that role just wanted to use him, just wanted him for who he's supposed to be, not him as an individual. With him, he's actually able to be himself and talk. It doesn't feel like he is being trained because of who he is. He actually gets to be a human with him, not an object, not a Karan.
I just now remembered that I have the ability to show pictures. I've been so entranced in this conversation.
Yeah,
that's a good sign.
Showing photos. Derek Lawrence, thank you so much for becoming a member. And Jordan gifting, Jordan was gifted a membership by Joe White. Thank you so much. Amazing. Oh, actually, several gifts. Guys, you guys are amazing. Yeah. So generous. Thank you. Five gifted. Appreciate you, Joe White.
Thanks,
Kudos.
Joe White.
Does anybody know where this was shot? Because
in Africa.
Okay, so that's not the one island that has the funky trees that you can't find anywhere else in the world?
I believe it's in
just below Yemen.
In Morocco. I think that's where they were. So... Yes, Mikasa Ackerman says W gifted subs. Heck yeah, we love you for that. My goodness, all the dinging is it's distracting. It's fun, but it's Anyways,
Can I ask a question about this that's been
Please.
kind of bugging me?
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure I don't know the answer to this. I've only noticed it in this episode, maybe in the previous episode.
Okay.
But so we know that Rand has a power rot sword,
Yes.
right? The Heron Mark Blade, which I thought was destroyed in season 2. But
Yes.
okay.
It was, right?
Yeah.
I thought he burned it to cinders.
Oh,
Wasn't this wasn't his the actual the one he was training with a second ago? You mentioned his name is Land. Didn't he have wasn't his sword Heron marked?
He pulled out he says in episode 3 or 2 that he basically Moraine told him to go get the power rot sword that he has, which is the King of Malkir's sword.
And that wasn't this one.
No, because he's using that one.
Was this the one that the guy who was in charge of the last big area? He also had he also had a sword like that.
Oh,
Turok.
Turok. I don't know.
Oh, maybe?
I honestly don't know. I'm curious only because when they do their forms, right, their blades sing through the air. You can actually hear the shring, shring, and I hadn't heard that before.
So Dana
So I
Luhu
was
says
curious.
Rand has Land's sword from Agilmar, so it's a borrowed
Oh,
sword
so
right
he
now.
had, yeah, but I thought
I think it's a Heron marked sword.
it is, but is it power rot?
Oh, I don't think they said that Rand's was power rot.
Oh, I thought
Rand's new one. That's why they sent Land to go
Okay.
get the one that was power. Okay, so everyone is saying South Africa, and you're right. Morocco was last season. This season is South Africa on the border of Namibia.
Yeah.
So,
Very
fun
nice.
fact.
it's beautiful too.
Yeah.
There's a whole confusion in the chat. People are saying that one person says he's got Land is using the Malkir King sword. Another person is just saying Rand is using Land sword.
Yes,
and it's
yeah.
kinda going
Well,
back and forth.
Rand is using Land sword that he got from Lord Agilmar, which is not something I think
Okay.
that
Oh, I remember
the
now.
casual viewer would really know.
the blade that we from the earlier seasons that said something about thank you Agilmar or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
All right,
that's where we're
I'm,
at.
I'm good now.
Okay, so speaking of Land, before we get into like the Ruidion stuff, he had a little spat with Avienda, the Spearess. How did you feel about that?
It
Max?
wasn't a spat. It wasn't anything negative. It was literally them being playful with their fight. They were like, she was like, even you aren't allowed to hear. And he was like, oh really? And then they started doing that. It was pure respect. There was pure like nothing about that was negative. It was like you're not allowed to do that. It's like okay, let's do this. And it was just people who were both masters of the crafts, just actually doing their thing. Like neither one of them was going for anything crazy. Neither one was going full out. They were just being themselves. They were showing their own skills. It was a test. If he could basically best her, then he was fine, kind of thing.
Okay, I'm so glad that you pointed. So many book readers are like, Land would never have ever let Avienda get even close to him.
Yeah.
Like there's something. It's literally the anger about it is so funny when Land is literally like laughing throughout this fight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
in
yeah.
my mind,
It's very playful.
the fact
Yeah.
that you picked that up as a show only person makes me so happy because of course they were just joshing. They were just joking around, guys.
It was I wouldn't say it was escalating to a real conflict, but I think Lan wasn't taking it seriously at first, right? And then right
she
before
disarmed
Bear stops it, he literally gets into a stance and is like, and like he's ready to go, and they cut it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, as a Lan stan, I'm just gonna say he was toying with her. She held her own, but
Diego Lomelli says, what the heck, I assume, is a power rod, a magic sword? Okay, so it's a power rot, WROUGHT sword. And yes, it's like, it's got extra magical properties and it never tarnishes. And, it's like super
I don't
special
think it goes
sword.
dull or anything
Yeah,
like that.
think like Sword in the Stone or like some
Legendary.
cool, legendary awesome sword that they make, they like infuse with the one power as they're making it with the one power, essentially.
Okay, so I have a question for Max.
Let's go.
Because this is something I was thinking about when I was also watching the episode for the first time. What did you understand was occurring as you see Rand take steps further back in time?
Can you be more specific?
So we see him experiencing these visions, like really living them, like dropping into them, like he is living them. Like what did that communicate to you as like show only?
I mean, it literally it showed exactly what it was. It showed his family tree, his bloodline, and where it came from. Like, I thought, actually, it was kind of funny. I didn't realize it was literally him in the mask until the second reincarnation, or the
Good.
second.
That's really good to
um,
hear. Okay.
The second, we're like the second.
Yeah, the second step. Just say.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
We get it.
I didn't realize it was him in a mask, but I was like, oh wait, nope. Okay, I see, it's him.
That's cool. Yeah,
I thought it was
I
really
love
interesting
hearing
and really nice for showing backstory and to slowly get more and more information. They could have just said ABC, but by saying it's CBA, it was able to actually have a lot more growth and a lot more like questioning. Oh, something's about to happen. Oh, what is this? Oh, is that what this is? Like, it was a lot of really nice growth in that. I really enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed seeing how his, I guess, great grandfather or however many back actually had the three friends. Like how he has his the three of them together. I guess he has the three of them, and I thought it was really cool.
Somebody please tell me why I didn't pick up on that.
They're taking the Chora to Ridian. They're taking the Chora to Ridian.
I couldn't get over the fact that they just look like hobbits, and so the parallels between Rand, Matt, and Perrin and these three lost on me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm embarrassed.
Mr. Moonbound called them Costco Pat and Costco Perrin. Wow.
Costco Matt.
Like off-brand.
So mean. Those are.
I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, I even sent you a message before you watched it. I said your worlds are about to collide, Kritter.
Yeah, I did.
because literally when I saw this immediately, I was like, that's the hobbits crashing into each other in that old farmer's field, holding onto a giant freaking carrot.
Literally,
that's what that was.
The first thing I said when I saw them was mushrooms.
Yeah.
What else talking about?
And the fact that they were smoking is hilarious.
That was funny.
That was interesting. Yeah, that was
so playful.
It was on point.
So how did you specifically, we know that Rand has been named the Dragon Reborn,
yes, 100%.
At the end of the second.
Both. Yeah.
Before that, even before that happens. Now we know for sure that he's like the Karakarn also.
Yeah.
So in these visuals, we see his lineage.
Mm-hmm.
How do you understand that relating to him being the Dragon Reborn, which we've seen as Luz Theron, which is not a flashback we got in Ruidian.
And real quick, this will answer Joe White's question. So
yeah, thank you for $5 in super chat. His specific thing was why didn't Rand jump back into Luz Theron?
Okay. So I'm just wondering, as the show only, what.
Well, they were saying this is your bloodline. This is your blood from not your past lives. We're not touching on past lives. That's two different things.
No, that's great answer. Okay.
I was
good. Yes, or they did good. If you got that, they did good. You do. Yeah.
One thing I have to say though that got me a little confused here, but all right. A certain someone popped in the very, 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 very end. So she was there. She knew him. They were friends, close, not romantic, but friends and
close.
Are
we talking about Mirren?
Yeah,
Mirren.
Yes, Lanfear.
Okay, yeah.
They were close. They were friends. They cared about each other, but it didn't look like that was anything romantic there. She was supposedly in love with the guy from
Luz
Theron. So that was 3,000 years ago. That was when it all happened.
Yeah.
That is when everything went to schnitzel. That's when apparently that eyeball must have been the Dark One or something. I don't know. The breaking
Cybertron.
Breaking of the, I don't know, the fifth dimension. I don't even know, but it's the giant eye appearing and breaking reality.
Oh man,
that had to that's what to a watcher would have been the Dark One doing something. I guess unleashing darkness or breaking it or doing something they shouldn't have done. I'm interested. I'm very excited to figure out just to learn what that was. I'm very curious on.
I'm so glad you grabbed that. That's so cool.
So I want a follow-up question for you, Max, on that. So you clearly noticed that she knew and she had a relationship with Charn in the last bit there, his oldest ancestor in this in the columns, and they had a relationship, so they were very familiar with each other. Do you think that she knows Rand al'Thor as a descendant of Charn because she was so
as well?
Yes. Do you think she remembers Charn and sees Rand al'Thor and goes, "Oh, I remember him"?
From base purely off of what we saw in the show, that I wasn't given that. I didn't make that connection. That's something that she could have seen physically. They look similar. Because we were told that she had a relationship with his literal past self.
Luce Theron, yeah.
Yes, Luce Theron. I think the names I'm terrible with.
No, you're good. You're perfect.
So there was that connection. So my association with her is with that connection to him. If I'm interested, I'm very interested and very excited to see, 3,000 years ago, what the three of them were about. If the three of them were friends, or three of them knew each other, if the three of them were best friends, and it was like they both guys liked her, but blah blah blah. I don't know, but. If that's the case, that's kind of cheating because you get the looks of one and the soul of the other. That's kind of cheating.
Yeah, it's
like that's literally cheating.
Right? The reason I asked is because there's something that's very subtle in the show that I've noticed, and I'm not sure if there's anything behind it.
Okay.
But everybody calls Rand sheep herder. We've heard sheep herder. We've heard sheep shagger, woolhead. Everything has to do with sheep, right?
That was funny.
Well, that was
That
Matt.
was funny.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was.
The only person that calls him something different is Lanfear, and she calls him Farm Boy.
Okay, the farm boy connection would be enough to see that. Yes,
interesting.
And that's why I was like, again, I don't know if there's anything behind it. This is show only stuff, and I was just curious.
I'm gonna say, based off of that thing and what I've seen, that's 100% what that is. From a show perspective, that is 150% exactly what that is. Like even him talking about how he loves the feeling of the dirt in his hands, on stuff, being very prominent, very big about, I just like this peaceful, simple life, and her like having admiration for that, but knowing it for herself, that wasn't the case. That was a great detail they had, and you pointing that out was wonderful, by the way, because I did not.
Like I said, I don't know if it's accurate. I don't know if
it's definitely accurate. There's no way that's not.
I am full of bullshit theories.
Can I just say,
I don't think that one's BS at all.
For those who can see this image, I pulled an image of Mierin / Lanfear from before the breaking or whatever, and she looks so happy and so not evil. It makes me so sad. Like she did perfectly, but like the fact that what was to come was going to just completely change her, probably fundamentally as a person, just made me it breaks my heart a little bit.
Okay, quick question for all of you.
Break that and get back to it. She mentioned that a few times.
Quick question for all of you then. And this is show only, right? We're not getting into the books here, so show only.
Yes.
Do you think in this moment she knew what she was doing?
No.
This is before Lanfear.
I think, yes. I think she wanted, she was a scientist first and foremost, and I think she was excited about the prospect of making a discovery. This incredible discovery that likely would have earned her her third name, but it just went to shit. So, the concept of
I don't know about. I don't know what third name.
Yeah, in the Age of Legends, I don't know if this will ever come up in the show, and it's just it's backstory. But essentially, in the Age of Legends, if you can earn a third name by doing something incredibly valuable for like the society. So Luz Theron Telamon, Rand's earlier iteration, had got a third name because of also all the contributions that he made to society, and Lanfear Mierin. Aaron Nail, I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah.
She hadn't earned one yet. And so,
and then you have like the head of the Aes Sedai, which was Latra Putre
Pose.
Or
am I thinking of
or something?
La Roche Pose?
Yeah,
so close. So
I'm
sure one of those is.
She's got three names as well. Yeah, we're not in it.
So
would Sedai be a third name?
No, that's a title.
Okay. That's an honorific. Yeah, kind of like
cool.
That's like saying your honor to a judge or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there a flashback experience that we saw Rand have, or which one? I'm sure all of them had deep impacts, of course.
Obviously.
But which one was the most impactful for you to see?
I think the biggest one for me was when his ancestor broke the rule, broke the law, and began his own violence to save his sister and sister's friends. I believe how the three of them chose to do that and to save them. One thing I will say is when we realize that that's who this is, that they are the ones who create this entire other new society. I do wish that the moment he says like we will protect them, or we will like fight for them because they themselves can't fight, some iteration of those words, they don't actually as far as I'm being shown, they don't do that though. If they like stayed somewhere with them and like kept them safe, that could have been really, really cool and something I've interesting. But they also broke it off. Like they made it sound like when he said that, like, oh, we're gonna just shadow and keep them safe, like a vanguard. But that didn't happen, which I thought was like, okay, well,
yeah. Okay.
I have to agree with you there. I think obviously it was so exciting to see the Mier stuff. And the Charum. Oh my god, guys.
Charum. Whatever it's called.
Anyways, but the fact this guy's mom made me want to end all religions. Like, I'm not gonna, because in my mind I was just like, this stupid belief that she has. No offense to pacifists, just like with no exception at all, is a devastating. Like the results are devastating, and she was inflicting psychological violence on him with the way she's like, cover your face. I had a son that had that face.
It stayed with them.
Listen, I'm waiting to use that as an insult to somebody. I'm waiting for somebody to disagree with me and throw that in their face. Turn your face away from me, hide your face, stranger. I had a co-host with a face like that once.
Oh no.
Wow.
Is that me? Am I supposed to cover my face now?
Nice.
So yeah, Max, I guess is that did you pick up on the fact? Well, you haven't seen a ton of Aiel fighting, but you have seen enough that you may have noticed that they cover their faces.
Yeah, they cover the face. They do that each time. They use a spear instead of a sword. He literally says, "Don't use a sword that's only meant for killing. The spear you can at least you use to collect food, or you put food in the basket." I believe was the wording. Yeah, I can get wording, but I can't remember names.
It's fine. So it was they were communicating the fact that this was like the foundation of Aiel beliefs.
100%.
Okay,
100%.
Nice. I love to hear that.
One thing I did notice as well is whenever the Aiel went to the location, the Aiels were also there as well. The Aiels made themselves Shino. They made themselves known by being loud and by making all those sounds. It wasn't like an aggressive, like it wasn't like a fight sound. It was like, hey, we're here. This is us addressing you, and now let's communicate. If they just wanted to attack, they would have been quiet. Which I'm also very, very interested into seeing is the youngest of her sons, which I guess is going to be the new chief, whatever. If he can pass the test, which we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I'm very to see how he reacts to the Waterlands. What was the term? The water
Wetlander.
To this Wetlander being basically your king.
That'll be
fun. Dude, he's so arrogant, so basically blasphemous, honestly, to say, "Oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that." You're not literally following our laws or regulations. What are you talking about, you child?
Whoa.
Like, let's be honest, that's how he's acting. He's acting like a child.
Yeah, Cullinan was acting
100%. I'm very interested into seeing how he reacts to that and how if he's gonna try to like kill him or something. He acts like he's gonna do something really stupid in a rash, like because this one little thing, you who literally have the proof in your flesh that you're this person, you can't be. I'm gonna try to stab you at night or something stupid.
So do you think the wise ones will ultimately let him go into Ruidion because his brother is obviously not gonna make it out?
I mean, I feel like they could. I mean, I feel like if so, is it you need 2 yeses or you need all of the yeses that are currently there?
She said we need to have 2, and we're both here. Or there's 2 of us here. That's enough. That's what she said. Yeah.
There's 3 now.
There's 3.
Because
it was the woman with the
ribbon head, the one with the ribbon head.
Avienda, you mean? Well? Who are we talking?
One who is the chief justice's wife,
Savannah. Okay.
Is she one?
I thought isn't she
a wise one?
No.
Oh, she's got married, so I guess I would disqualify.
She's a roof mistress.
She's a roof mistress. I'm sorry. Yeah. Forget I.
Okay, I definitely thought she was one. So the older brother that went in didn't even get a permission, as far as we're aware.
He probably got permission from Shido Wise Ones before he left their hold.
They just didn't bring any with
on
him.
Screen. We didn't see.
Yeah, we didn't see any.
Yeah, it seems like that's what happened, yeah.
I have a question about the so in the columns and the whole thing going back. Was there anything? Were any of the sections confusing to you as far as his lineage and DNA?
No, I mean it showed the entire time. It showed a steadfast, and when he was his really really old self, when you're showing that version, it showed how dedicated he was. Even though his body was basically breaking, he still pulled the card at the end, he himself as being the ox.
Right.
I thought the entire time it just showed which I'm assuming the little boy the grandfather.
Yes, he turned. Okay. Aiden turned into the grandfather during the Hobbit scene,
which makes sense why he was so steadfast to all the rules. Because it was just him and his grandfather. His grandfather was pulling the cart by himself. I mean, he helped, but little boy's not going to help that much. Up a mountain, so he's very as dedicated and as steadfast as you possibly can be. Makes sense.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because there was some discussion elsewhere. And again, I don't have an issue with the way they're portraying relationships on the show at all. But people were confused with the lineage, especially what was the one right before Charm, Ricardo or whatever his name was. I can't remember.
Not
you said
Ricardo.
It. It wasn't Frederico. What was his name?
Hold on. Roderick. No.
Roderick. I wasn't off too far.
Yeah, no, you weren't.
Roderick.
Actually. Yeah, Roderick.
Roderick was married to another man, right?
Yes.
In that scene. Because they had the rings on and stuff. So did that give you pause at all into how the DNA was passed on? I don't have an issue with it. I can explain it in a million different ways and say, hey, it's the Age of Legends. We have IVF now. We have a million things now. Who knows what they had back, during the Age of Legends.
I just think societal. There are a lot of different times in society that people have been more free to choose and to be okay about doing whatever. I mean, look at Rome. It was way big. It was way okay in Rome to do all these different things, to be into anyone and not care. Our society nowadays is kind of getting better, but still pretty darn not great about it. They're pretty bad about it, honestly. If you live in a world, in a society that's as free and as open as okay as that one, then you're going to experiment. You're going to do different things. You're going to love freely, and things are going to happen. He probably had a child prior and married him later, or he married him and they both did something later together, or separately, or blah, blah, blah.
Or he's married to multiple people.
That's what I'm getting
we
at.
don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, it was just amazing that people were harping on that and saying, well, I don't understand. That kind of killed it. I'm like, I don't see how that killed it. It's the future. It's the Age of Legends. Anything could have been possible. So, just deal with it and move on. Anyways, all right. That was it. That was a question.
I'm glad I missed most of that commentary.
Yeah, it was kind of
like literally like, how could he possibly have children? Two dudes, they can't.
Dr. Gentic. I mean, he could have just had a uterus.
Anything could happen. Anything's possible, frankly.
Here we go.
Gateway a baby in there.
So we haven't talked a ton about what's his name? Mandine, the what I call Viking Rand.
Yeah,
the one that first went into the
one that first went into Ruidion. I guess, how did you feel about his interactions with Latra, and did you put two and two together that we've seen her before, back, stuff like
Latra was which one again?
She's
the old lady.
She was the one in white. Yeah, she was the one in white that did the perfect perfect clean, crisp channeling of the Age of Legends that we don't see today.
But so, basically just the vibe. How did you feel about that part? The scene, the creation of the columns, the Aes Sedai.
That was a beautiful scene.
Yeah, well,
for sure. I think they did. I think they animated it extremely well. I think that was done extremely well. I love the necklace as well. That was really, really pretty. Ooh, yes. Which I can see, so it makes it easy to. That was very interesting. How I guess it showed that this orb, you mentioned the name of it earlier.
The Sarkarnan.
Yeah.
How it must be some kind of, again, she mentioned it way in the past that it was a powerful weapon, but they actually shows how powerful nice.
The props always.
How powerful, how strong of an item this is, that she just holds it and just makes this. She creates this
right?
holding this item.
Yeah.
And now it shows that our Moraine, it shows that Moraine now has it. She took it out with her, put it in her pocket, and then went through the through it. So I'm very
I love the
interested.
pocket.
She did. She literally said,
really
cool.
did. This is mine now. Like just.
She went in there for him to protect him, but she said like two things.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the series is that every outfit Moraine wears has pockets.
Yeah.
Every freaking one.
She's practical, if nothing
If
else.
I might be in my contract to keep all my outfits.
Oh my god, tell me about it. Oh, I want all these clothes so badly. So we haven't really talked much about Moraine. We had Heart to Heart with Rand, where Rand was way ungrateful, if I recall, where he was like, "You've never helped me in your life." We had
basically saying that from what we've been shown, we see her side of it as well, but from his perspective, everything she's done is not really been for him. It was her obligation. It was her using him. It was her way, and he was the tool. Like she's always been the one in control what's happening, and he's just part of what's going on. Like he's just being used within her plan.
So you think he's onto something? You think he had every right to say that?
I don't know about onto anything. I don't know if what's going on. I just know that from his perspective, it's showing that they're being very good at keeping the character like only knows what the character knows, because we're gonna feel differently about certain things because we've seen different thoughts of her. We've seen like how long ago she's been thinking about this, how much work she puts into this, and how hard she's working into this, and everything she's lost because of this. We see very different things than he's gonna see, and they keep it very clean on with what he sees. He acts upon.
They filmed it differently, which I think was phenomenal. That her any scenes with her were done in a certain way, and any scenes with him were done in a completely different way, and it was just amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I was pointing out to the fact they most episodes prior they had a lot of like little glances of other people that actually were important. Like they did a lot of like little here, little there's, like to make us think something gonna happen. But in this
that was the first episode. They
kept it very clean. There's no like looks for anyone who was important. If someone made a look, they were important.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a question in chat I thought was interesting. What were your thoughts on seeing Latra Sedai so young with one of Rand's ancestors, and then so far past that, super old with another of his ancestors?
Was she the one that handed the thing over? Okay, then she's the one who took it out as the older version.
Yes.
That's who that. Okay, I didn't know that's who that was.
Okay, same person.
See that? But that's cool. That's awesome. I
don't know if they mentioned her name in Ruidian when she was in Ruidian, but she was wearing the exact same clothes, and I think that's what they were shooting for, that people would associate one with the other. And
yeah, it's tricky though, because like it could also just be like uniform.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an older person.
So this isn't a spoiler of any kind, but how old do you think Latra was when we see her in her older version?
Ooh,
I'd say 1,000. I don't even know.
Oh,
I mean, it's 3,000 years ago. So I mean, it's been 3,000 years. At least 1,000.
Easy. Yeah,
Wow.
which tells you just how long Aes Sedai can live. At least they could live in the Age of Legends. We don't know who the oldest is, and
because it makes it. If that's the case, if that's 2,000 years ago, then that's kind of a big deal, because that means that the splitting apart and the creation was at least an extra 100 years, 200 years, 300 years prior, because there were so many different chiefs. It wasn't just him and his friend anymore. It was that many people, means it's been a few hundred years to grow it as well. So it just shows how long the society's been around. The society's been around for, I guess, over 2,000 years.
Yeah, because I mean, in the show they talk about building a city where the Aiel can live in peace, right? Then we actually see the city built, and then we see in the distance, we don't know who's doing it, but we can assume it's Latra that's shooting the mist out from the center of the city, because then we see. Well, I mean, that's what I am assuming is happening. I don't know. I mean, it's the show, but
some magic. Spell.
Yeah, and then we see her inside, which was just amazing. And the whole columns thing and the rings were just incredible.
It's beautiful to watch.
One thing I was very curious upon. So we know that whenever a wise one goes in and does this, it shows all these different possible futures, but it shows her possible futures. They said like ones that you can't have, as well as ones that you shouldn't have, I guess, things like that. Earlier in the episode, they were talking about how some wisdoms could see other people's futures. Was it the same kind of possibilities as? Well, I'm curious on that particularly. Like, is that just like that person could see like possible futures? Because I know we have another person in the past who could see possible futures as well, but this one seemed more detail oriented. Like, if you do this, this happens.
All right, so I'm not sure if this. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. I think that going through the rings gives you 1,000. She says you get to see 1,000 futures, right?
Oh, so it's more than that a little bit.
It's not wrong futures and right futures. They're just futures. The wrong and right came about where they shouldn't have told her that she was going to go through the rings, because when you know about the future,
you can.
Well, I also think that there is a difference between some of the futures that the wise ones see while they're in the rings and the futures that, and this has been mentioned in the show, so it's not a spoiler, but the Dreamwalkers have an ability to see futures as well. And so that is kind of, is most likely what's happening here, is that they're having these like prophetic dreams, and not all wise ones are dreamwalkers, which they say, but yeah, these particular wise ones had these prophetic dreams about what was going to happen, and those can be a little wishy-washy, like a lot of prophecy, where it's like, if this then that, if this then that type of a situation. Where
they showed that in the show when Avienda comes running up and says, who did you tell we were coming? And they show up, and Bear, even Ruark was like, is this him? Because they don't know. They just know that somebody is going to be at a certain spot because they dreamt about it, and they might know the face or whatever, but they don't have all of the answers. Right. So they just follow.
It's fluid. It's pretty fluid. But but there are futures that they may have seen while in the rings also. So it's complicated. Basically. I hope that helps. So
technically.
Okay, great. We'll definitely the next episode is titled Teleron Riod, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we're going to learn a lot more about what it means to be a dreamwalker, because Teleron Riod is the Old Tongue name for the world of dreams. So
very interesting. Which it makes sense. If you show so much focus on one character this episode, you have to show more on the other characters the next. It makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry. I just at one point they say that your two roads aren't connected right now, basically.
They're not aligned.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Your roads are not aligned.
Yeah, I'm very curious if next episode's going to like show what she was doing during that time. If it's going to be her training with the two wise ones at that time, or if it's going to be what's going to go on. Because I mean, they were in there for like
it's a week.
The CRS got out 3 days before the two of them came out. So it's been probably at least 4, 5, 6 days.
They were very specific. They said that Avienda came in 2 days before. So that was, and she had been there for 5 days. So technically, Rand and Moraine came out on the 8th day, I think.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So probably gonna get a lot of training. I'm assuming the next episode might be a lot of training within the dream world and showing how things work and controlling it. Oh, we're gonna see. Oh my God, we're gonna end up seeing a battle between her and. Okay. Yep.
The battle.
Tell us the prediction.
Yeah.
My dog just farted, and I'm currently dying inside. Last minute, I've been suffering and trying to not. Okay. I'm just gonna. I apologize. We're going. For a second. Wonderful.
God.
Hello there.
I hate it when that happens.
So we've mentioned her twice so far.
Who, Lanfear?
I'm supposed to what?
Who are you talking about?
Yeah,
the battle.
That sounds
Lanfear?
right.
All right.
Okay. It sounds like the two of them are probably going to end up having a dream fight one day, and I'm very excited to see how that goes. Because the fact that they showed, oh yeah, she's a dreamwalker. Oh wait,
interesting prediction.
Awesome. I mean, they both have this. They both are going after the same guy. They both are gonna they both want to fight anyway.
Okay.
They have a special ability that only two of them can do, which others can do, but it's a very rare one. They both can do. So next time that she sends her to have a PTSD attack, she's gonna be like, haha, no, and like
Yeah.
a fight's gonna happen. That's why.
Have
That's
you-
why I
Not
would-
today, Satan.
Have you? All right. So in any other season, did you notice that connection between the two of them? It happened once before.
I mean, she was there torturing her. She
Well,
was,
aside from that, aside from her torturing her in her dreams,
a connection between the two of the characters, I have not seen one directly. Not
So-
one that has been seen from a viewer's
yeah.
perspective.
In season 2, Lanfear takes Rand into Egwene's dreams to show her what
Yeah.
she's dealing with,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Egwene wakes up and says Rand because
Yes.
she saw him, which
Yeah.
she shouldn't have been. Well, I mean, she could have been able to see him, but it was just it was a weird, like a little weird hint.
Okay,
Oh,
so-
I just
which is
assumed.
cool.
I honestly, as a viewer, it just looked like she brought the two of them there. It
Like
didn't seem
teleported
like,
him. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
like that was just part of it. It didn't seem like there was
That's
not
interesting.
at any point did she say she can't see us. It was just
Right.
it was her dream, and they were in the dream world, so it just seemed like the dream
Yeah,
world.
that's
We're
a
there.
good call. I like it.
Okay.
So,
I like
speaking
it.
of Lanfear, circling back to Moraine's visions, we got a lot of Lanfear in Moraine's vision. A lot of throat cutting, a lot of very extreme violence. Do you anticipate a confrontation between those two, given the possible
yes.
futures? Okay.
That just screams like, "Hey, don't trust this bitch. Don't. Like, she's literally gonna slaughter you in how many futures? Like, it just seems
Yikes.
like."
Yeah.
And
Like-
did you notice the similarity in which Lanfear kills Moraine over and over is exactly how Moraine took her out in season 2? Sliced the throat.
Dirty.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was-
That's
it
such a
was-
good point.
It was over and over.
Yeah. And one of them, Lanfear's like holding the blade part of
Yeah,
the
that was
sword as
interesting.
she's stabbing.
All that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I was like,
It was fighting that
wow.
style. It was kind
Brutal.
of weird.
a lot of anger there.
Did any of Moraine's visions stand out to you at all?
I thought a lot of them were very interesting. Like a lot of them, like showing of dismissal of her connection, and then getting one with Rand, and all that stuff. Like the different, like going back to the two rivers.
The two
and-
sticks.
I love that.
It's the woods. It's fine. It's the
Sticks.
rivers. There's woods.
No, that was
Same thing.
amazing. It's on the
Oh.
sticks. You're perfect.
And how she just like how he was just sitting there calmly and like, oh, you're this person, ha ha ha. Like there were so many different versions of it, of killing him, of praising him, of doing other things with him.
Right.
That's the one we're actually wanting to hear you talk about.
Like it's, damn, he was just there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was not ready either, Max. I was like, oh no.
I was like, you're his teacher. This feels gross. Okay.
Gross. Interesting.
What are you
Interesting.
talking about the Moraine Rand bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rolling
Okay,
around
I'm sorry.
and
I
together.
was
Yeah,
No,
just
saying
real
thank
quick.
you to Lanfear's bow.
Lanfear's Bow $50 super chat. This is a fun listen. I am enjoying your guest, Max Rocks. So,
There you go.
Max.
Enjoying it.
the people, they love you. Thank
And
you,
I'm gonna be
Lanfear's Bow.
listen. That Rand Moraine scene, it could have been easily just a quick, which it was kind of quick, but they were going.
Well, and then we swapped to Moraine Lanfear.
Work.
Yeah, and then it
Yeah.
swapped to Moraine Lanfear, and my entire evening was made.
That was interesting.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
It was jarring though. I remember being like, oh my god, what?
It's like two ex-wives just hanging out. It was weird.
Okay. It was definitely very curious to what, I don't know. These are all like different futures. I'm like, okay, but what kind of future would lead to the two of them being like that? Like, what could
Oh,
possibly happen
interesting.
that this is the outcome? Like, it just sometimes it feels like impossible futures. They can literally say anything, and it's technically okay. But I'm like, okay, but what would actually lead to the two of them being that a little intimate? And then her choking her out during it. I'm like, if you're gonna be that intimate, usually you would do the intimacy and then do the if you're gonna do the anyway. Like, why start and then go for it? Like, it before, it after, it during. I don't know.
think some people do the
Some people do the
Yeah,
during.
there's
Yeah.
There's no
Not
accounting
that
for. There's no
degree.
accounting for
Not a-
taste.
Actually, I can't do that
Judgment free,
either.
will and chill.
I've met a lot of people.
Oh
Welcome
my
to
god.
Sex Ed on the Wheel and Chill Show.
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't talked about
Mouth
Janduin, which is
shut.
Rand's dad.
Oh yeah.
We saw a scene
Oh, yeah.
of Rand's dad. Did that hit? Did you remember, I assume, his mom and how
yeah.
she died?
Definitely knew that's what that was. The moment I saw him, I knew who he was. I thought also I loved how they was like, huh, what, and then snapped into it, and then from there on, he was just the person. Like, it took him a second to like kind of get into the spiritual
Calibrate.
I don't know. Calibrate. Yes, that's a way better word for that. You had to calibrate into it, but once he was good. I'm very, very interested in seeing what happens with him. I'm assuming he's dead. But they didn't say anything about it. He could definitely be alive. I would love to have that reuniting of the two of them. Very interesting to see what happens during that. If his dad is good, if his dad is bad, if his dad has gone mad, I don't know. But I'm very interested in seeing what is going to be the storyline with that, because they started saying your mother wasn't, by the way, which is very interesting. So she wasn't. Who was she, and how did she get within everything?
Good catch.
Wondering if you caught that.
Really good job, by the way.
But the dad definitely was. So the dad was a chief. The dad was undoubtedly, my mind was like, my brain says the dad was a chief because everyone's talking to him. It's not like everyone talking to someone else and him giving the information. No, everyone's talking to him. He's the chief of their group, their people. He's the one who slaughtered the king, the betrayer, who cut down the tree. So, yes.
So did you see? Was there anything? And this is another controversial scene, right? Was there anything odd about this scene that didn't mesh right with you, knowing what you know about the Aiel?
Was there a sword being used?
Nope. It's one of those rules.
This is nitty gritty stuff.
Yeah.
Being undone during the battle?
No. What'd you say?
His face being undone during the battle?
Yeah. Nobody was veiled. None of the Aiel were veiled in that battle.
Huh.
Which is mind blowing. You didn't notice that, Kritter?
Sometimes I'm busy.
Listen, I didn't catch it the first time. I caught it. I honestly didn't catch it the first time. I caught it the second time.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you could say that. You could say like it could be a fear tactic. It could be like it could be a taunt. Like, you think not seeing their face is more serious. Taking it off could be like.
Well, that's one of the tenets. That's one of the tenets of their society is they veil when they're going to kill. I personally think it was a simple. Listen, we did all this makeup on Rand. We got to show it.
It could also come undone while fighting. I mean, they're doing all these things. People are grabbing at them. If this getting pulled off isn't like that big of a stretch.
Yeah, he didn't have it on the entire time. But
the chat is demanding that we acknowledge that all the Aiel were veiled except for Janduin. So I think you might be right.
Are they?
That they're like, we need to show Rand's face because let's be honest,
yeah,
it's Yosha.
I think it was a Rand's makeup, special effects kind of thing. Yeah. Which listen, I would show it too. His shit was amazing.
I didn't realize it was him the first time I watched it. Only after the second one did I realize. So they did a great job.
No, they did an outstanding job. And Yosha, holy.
Yeah, let's ask Max. What do you think about his acting? Like, we got to see a variety.
It was really nice. I thought this when I watched it again like an hour ago. When I watched it the second time. It was nice to see him as an actor actually showing a lot more. Because in the past, the last time I was here, I talked about how I have no feelings towards Rand when it comes to like as an individual. How he's been very, very bland. It's either like 1 or 100 with him as a character thus far. To show him as all these other things and showing different versions of him. It was really nice to see the actual actor do certain things and have more of an opportunity, because you don't know if he's playing Rand like this because that's him as an actor doing this, or because he's being told to do it like this. So it's nice to see him just kind of probably be able to enjoy this role a lot more as well.
Yeah. So you think he did, and are you feeling more for Rand now as a character?
I'm not sure if I'm feeling more for him. I'm excited to see.
Hide your face, stranger.
I'm just asking.
What? I think I missed the comment or something.
Oh, no, you were right. No, that was from. I said when I disagree with somebody, I was going to use that. Hide your face, stranger. I had a guest that had that face once.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Anyway, how are you feeling about Rand?
You're good. I got that. It was funny. I'm not really feeling too much more about him as an individual. I'm excited to see what he does as a character because it shows a lot that's going to happen. What does going through these things, living through these things, going to do to him as an individual? How is he going to grow from this? How is he going to become more wise from this? How is he going to change? How is he going to look at the Dark One again? What was her name? I keep forgetting her name. Lanfear. How is he going to look at Lanfear next? When he sees her next, what is he going to say? Is he going to be like, "Hey,
I'm home"?
Like,
I saw that, Sharome. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw you bring the eye taint into the sky or whatever the hell they're calling it. I don't know what. It looked like the taint when the thing.
Oh, the tainting of the
It looked it like just the vision of the Dark One looked like the taint.
Tainting.
Not that taint.
Okay,
Sorry.
so we're still.
Well, they call it the taint in the show and in the
They
book.
do. They call it taint.
Okay, sorry.
So the jury's still out on Rand, and I saw somebody in the chat ask about another show only guest's take on Rand who isn't a fan either, and she's going to be here, Maggie's going to be here next week, so we can follow up with her about Rand. So at this point in time, obviously we only got Moraine and Rand. Essentially, we got Avienda and a few other characters, but how are you feeling about the Aiel?
Oh, yay! Good question.
I'm excited to see what happens. There's a plethora of stories and places they can go with this. Of course, we know it's over 2,000 years old now, so they can do so much with it. I'm very, very interested in seeing what they really do with this and what really happens with it. Also, Rand being the Kara Karan is kind of hilarious considering his ancestor was the first one. There's just a lot. There's a lot with it, and it's everything about it's positive. Everything about it I'm seeing with them and from them is really cool.
Did you find it interesting how whenever Rand went and talked to Avienda in Ruidion, and he said, "I understand about the swords," and that seemed to confuse her.
Yeah. She's like, "You understand now?" Is that what she she said?
Right.
The way she said it definitely made it seem like, oh, because you saw the past, now you get it. Like, what do you like you? It felt kind of gatekeeping, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I felt like because you weren't raised this way, you still shouldn't understand it, even though he does. They could play on that. They could not. That could just be how she said it during it, because we are a lot of actors, so they might have just said it that way and they didn't like take a second take, or they could have done 20 different takes. This was the best one.
Okay.
We don't know.
So at the end of that conversation, he smiles, right, as she walks off.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any thoughts on why he smiled at her or laughed at her?
Or just generally your thoughts about how Rand and Avienda have interacted thus far?
Sorry.
That's a good word. Yeah.
I didn't really pay enough attention to him smiling, what they could have meant, or anything kind of stuff. To be honest, they've had a good relationship. There's been a lot of like, you haven't earned this yet, you haven't done this yet, you haven't done that yet. Does she looks down to see her tattoos? She doesn't say anything about it. She doesn't call him that. She doesn't like. He still needs to earn it. Just because he has it doesn't mean he's earned it yet. So I think that's maybe something that's kind of getting pushed out a little bit.
Okay.
Like a second lieutenant in the military. They got the rank, they just haven't earned the respect.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That's a good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I?
No, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
What did you think about it was a very small interaction, right? A very small scene between Lan and Egwene when he's sitting outside the tent and she comes out. She goes, "We need to go in there after them because it's been so many days." And he said, "They wanted us." I think she said they wanted us to stay, or they, right? How did you feel about that interaction?
I mean, I thought it was let me think about this. I thought it was a good one. I think it shows that he's worried as much as she is. She's getting really worried, obviously. and this is kind of a way of saying that he's worried as well, but he is showing patience. And I'm assuming that he's also becoming a mentor to her during all of this, during what we're going to see in the next episode. And he's probably just teaching her to be more patient or to be more like of a certain type of thing that maybe she needs help with or she needs guidance with. And this is like part of that. Like, you're too rash, you're too this, even though she really isn't that rash. Maybe there's, I don't really know. There's a lot that can play with the next episode because she was broken down previously.
Yeah.
So this could be them being like, you were all together. You were this, you were that. Because of this trauma, you were broken down. So let's build you back up. Let's heal you back up. Let's bottom up. I don't know until we see the next episode.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that can be done. And this, I'm assuming, is just some part of the breathing and being in control of what you think and what you feel in your actions.
So Lan does something in that episode, in that scene, that you never see Lan do, and he cries. Right? He tears up.
We've seen Lan cry.
Oh,
well, kind of, yeah. But I mean, he really like showed a lot of emotion.
Oh, I don't know.
Did you consider it? And then this is for everybody, including chat. Was there any consideration to the fact that Lan could feel
What
everything Moraine was going through because of the bond?
Wasn't thinking about that in the slightest.
And so for 7 days, he's sitting there feeling everything.
Oh, she couldn't have
And even then, he tells her they wanted us to stay.
She could have blocked it. She has the ability to block it. She could have blocked it so he didn't have to feel that. She chose to let him feel that.
But then he wouldn't know if she died. Like, if she had died, like, she would have wanted that closure for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking, ow.
Ow, for sure.
Yeah, it took me a second to tone it myself. And I'm a huge Lan fan. It took me a second for that to register when I watched it, and I was like, oh my God. Oh, that sucks. I was like, that's horrible.
I do think I've got April Pixie in the chat wanting me to clarify something, and since I believe the show has established this thing, I am going to clarify it. So, what we saw in the flashback with Mierin / Lanfear is what's called the boring into the Dark One's prison. So it's like there's a bore into the Dark One's prison. I think I said earlier I used the word breaking. That's not what that's called in the books. The breaking, which is something else that's been mentioned in the show, is when men who could channel went crazy, or sorry, they went mad essentially because of the taint on the Dark One, or sorry, the taint on the male half of the One Power, and they essentially destroyed the world. So the bore is what we saw in episode 4. The breaking is what they've talked about in the past. Just to clarify for everyone who is confused. Great.
One thing I noticed when it comes to set dressing, when it comes to the two different areas, I didn't see any skeletons for the wisdoms. I didn't see any skeletons in the wisdom area at all. There are all the skeletons in the guy's area. Maybe it's like like they can clean those up, but if a guy goes in there, you're kind of stuck. Like I'm not sure if it's like just a tidiness thing, like because you can't exactly grab those skeletons on your way.
Yeah, I was about to say going into the column starts a thing.
Yeah, you can't exactly.
You don't want to pull them out.
So maybe that's what it is. Like, that would make sense. I mean, that's the only, because you can go around the area and grab them without, I guess, activating it. I'm not sure
I don't know
how that works. But I just want to point, like, that was a set dressing they chose to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're over an hour. So I do want to like make sure that we're tapering down just so we can let Max go about his night. So future questions, and then the following questions, let's just make sure it's stuff that we haven't talked about, or stuff Max, if you have notes that you haven't talked about yet, now would be a great time to bring them up at no pressure.
Go to the right page that I have my stuff on.
I love this. I love the note taking.
Yeah. So we already mentioned the 3 friends. I loved that. Pointing back that went back in time and hey, guess who was there 3,000 years ago? What?
Mirren.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Lanfear.
Some of these notes I should have had more things like what should the original? The original what? What was I talking about?
What should the original?
I don't even know. That note was
the song. Maybe was it? Did you notice the song?
Probably not.
They heard the song, the Tinker's song.
Yeah,
like they had their song.
I don't think he would. Yeah.
I mean, I know they mentioned. Like we can go over this ridge, we can sing the song there. You know the song? Yeah, I know the song. So it was lost between those 2,000 years. But
But not
wasn't
the original. Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about. I don't remember what it was either.
Fair enough.
I definitely the Moraine keep continuously to die again and again and again.
Ouch.
That was interesting. I wanted to point out. Less side glancing,
Less telegraphing.
The future thing was a question I had that we kind of discussed a bit.
How would you? Sorry, were you about to say something?
I was going to say that's my notes. Now I'm me think about
Okay.
what else, maybe off notes. But what's your question?
How would you place this episode in your episode rankings for maybe the season, but also if you care to the show in general?
I'm just gonna say 1 to 10. 10 saying whatever the best of the best this far has been. You might say the first episode of the season, which was incredible. Whatever your best of the best is, I would say this would easily be at minimum would be an 8.
Okay.
At minimum would be an 8. I think this is extremely well done.
That's fair. No, totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything they did with the graphics, everything they did with animation, everything they did visually was perfect. Everything they did there was absolutely perfect. They told a lot. They told a huge story without saying half of it, which that was extremely well done.
Right?
I think some.
Right?
Yes.
Sorry, I got excited. Yeah.
I loved how you had all the old spears there from the past, people who never came back, and there were a lot.
It's a lot of spears.
I kind of wish I saw some of those spears more degraded, if that makes sense. Like, because it's the desert. Some would have been like buried more. Some would have been higher. Some would have been lower. But that's not.
There's magic, so I don't know.
I don't know. I loved all the little details. The whole like covering of the face again, like
the dead do not speak.
It was the lower eyes instead of the upper.
Yeah.
It was the upper half and covered instead of the lower half.
Gosh.
Don't talk to us until you're a part of the living again. You're no longer a part
That
of
was
the living.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lot of building of a culture that I thought world building that was awesome. That was extremely well done. I really enjoyed seeing a lot of the intricates of the characters. The only reason it's not even higher is because I love interactions between different characters that we already know. I love our big five so much. Interactions together are hilarious. So if we had just one, if we had one, oh my god, I forgot how full my notebook is. One Matt. If we just had one Matt joke in there, I would have been done. I would have been perfect. It would have been 10 out of 10. It would have been great.
Actually, fun fact, we had a Matt joke in there.
We did.
Where was it?
Moraine taking all of her daggers out of her person. That is something they took from Matt. That was Matt in the books. Moraine like taking a million daggers from all the places. That was a Matt joke.
Did Matt go in there? In the books?
I'm not going to say when it happened.
Yeah. You're not allowed to read the book.
When it happened.
We can tell you.
Okay.
Read the book.
It was a Matt joke. I know because you don't know that. There would be no way for you to know that.
That's so much. I know a lot now. Okay, damn. That was enough for me.
Click.
Also,
different dots.
Also, I think it was Wish Matt or Timu Matt during the Hobbit scene. That said something about Rand smoking too much.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a Matt joke too.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of curious about the whole basics of these things aren't like they're just family. They're not like we already knew they weren't like this wasn't a past him. This was just bloodline. But they made it seem very copy and paste. So it made it like brain kind of twitch for a second. I was like, wait, nope, that's not past them. That's just bloodline and it just happened to be awesome that way.
Yeah, I mean, it showed. The one thing about the columns that showed me was that their lives are inexplicably woven together to some extent. So in some past, right, over generations, let's say Matt and Perrin would have they're Tavern. So I don't know if it follows the gene pool. I'm not really sure. I think Tavern is just a random thing, but it was very odd to see that they were pulled into that one scene.
For the people that noticed.
Yeah, for the people that know. Yeah. Well, I mean, they look just like them. So, and if I'm not mistaken, and chat can correct me on this, there were times during that scene, during that bit, that it almost sounded like Donald and Marcus's voice were spliced into their voices.
That's
to
funny.
make it sound like them. Yeah, it was really cool.
Okay.
No, I didn't hear that at all.
I didn't either. So speaking of them all being like kind of related and intertwined, we got a bit of that from Moraine and Rand once they were in Ruidion, right? Moraine talks about how her uncle kind of broke a treaty with the Aiel, which caused them to cross the spine and chase him down. And then we see Rand's vision where his dad killed.
His dad was the one who killed him.
Right. So like, how did that make you feel? Essentially.
I mean, cool.
Cool.
I mean,
everything's connected.
Yeah.
Everything's connected.
They definitely in the past. They've definitely talked a lot in the past already about different lives being woven together and different stories like all coming together just for it to happen. I guess they make it seem kind of like some bloodlines are more connected than others, and some bloodlines are more important than others when it comes to the weaving of the wheel, which I think is very interesting. I usually like the more randomized people do things because, like, when it's all family does things, it makes other lives seem less important.
Yeah.
When it's more anyone can do it and it's not set to a bloodline, it's
why all of us wanted Rey to not be a Skywalker or Palpatine in Star Wars.
Yep, facts.
I totally agree with
she
you.
was literally woohoo.
Yeah. I know. I'm leading. I led him a little bit. I apologize for that. It was just we talked about how everything was intertwined.
Leading the guest.
I know. You're right. Objection taken, Jose. My bad. My bad. I shouldn't have said it.
Sustained.
Okay. So how do we should really wrap this up. So does anybody have any final questions for Max before we let him run off into the wild?
No, I pretty much answered all my
We
stuff.
really covered it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was awesome. Okay, Max, so as we always do before we let you go, you are welcome. You have the floor. You can say whatever you want to say. You can pitch anything you want to pitch. It doesn't have to be Wheel of Time related. It could be your favorite quote. Whatever you want to say. Before you sign off, the floor is yours.
Hi. Once again, I am Max Anthony. I am Winespring's nephew, which is why I got mentioned in all of this. I'm really even enjoying the show. It's really going great. This new season, this third season, is going extremely well. I'm very excited to see where they go with it. We are halfway done with the season already, which is crazy. I think it's already been very, very fast. I'm very excited to see what they do with the next season because it's going to get a next season. That's already duh. If the show's getting more popular, it's not going to be turned off. What do you mean? I'm really enjoying everything about the character building, all this absolutely ginormous and crazy just intertwining of characters, which is really cool and something I really am loving. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do this. This is definitely an extremely fun experience to hop on and talk to you all and to talk about this really awesome series. Second time doing this. Hopefully I'll do it again with y'all. I guess my own technical stuff would be I do TikTok, I do Twitch. I do things of that nature. I've been doing it for 4.5 years now. TikTok handle would be Everybody's Big Brother, where I make mental health content. I'm going to help you laugh, help you forget that things are kind of shitty, and I'm going to remind you that you're enough. Then I go live on Twitch from Monday through Saturday from 8 to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time every single day, besides Sunday, just so if you're not in a good headspace, you have somewhere to be instead of possibly making a bad choice. But yeah, that's who I am. That's what I do. And I hope you have a great rest of y'all's evening and enjoy talking about this fan-frickin-tastic show.
Thank you so much. We've got a lot of M's in the chat. The chat loves you. We really appreciate you being here. So we will definitely have you back soon, I hope.
Yeah.
Perfect. Can't wait.
Thanks, man.
All right. Peace, y'all. Good night.
Good night, buddy.
Good night.
Bye, y'all.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. We have the
Full
icon.
spoilers.
We have the icon up. So,
all right,
but
chat,
hey,
go
if you're
nuts.
getting out of here because we're going full spoilers, don't forget to like the stream before you go.
Yeah,
don't forget to like the
don't
stream
forget to
before
do
you
that.
go. So this
Like and subscribe.
Hit that like button.
Is your warning. We are going full book spoilers. I don't know if we're going to spoil anything, but I just want to warn you, just in case we do. Just saying. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. That would be my worst nightmare as a Wheel and Chill host.
Can we start this off?
Yeah.
With a really jacked up theory?
Bring it on. Let's do it. Let's dive in.
All right, chat. Don't come for me. I swear. I know some of you think I'm already a dark friend. Let's not start this shit. But I think they focused too much on Mandeans. Is that his name, Mandine?
Which one?
Is that the Ruidion
one? The Viking
yeah.
one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mandine's spear was a bit too much of a focus, and my brain immediately said, oh, will this be the spearhead that Rand walks around with as his scepter?
Oh, I mean, but
It would
sorry.
suck. It would suck. I'm just
The
saying.
scepter's supposed to be a reminder of the Shan-Shan. That
I
they're always
agree.
there.
I agree, but they've changed enough in the freaking show.
I saw some discourse online. Thank you for the subs, Jason Raphael and M&M McGregor. Appreciate you. I saw some discourse on Twitter that was like it was Chekhov's gun. Like they focused on it too much. It's gonna come up again, and maybe it will.
Ooh.
Maybe Couladin will show up with it. You know,
Whoa.
it's just like sick ass spear, and then Rand's like, "What the hell, man? That's my
That's a Taradad spear.
Yeah.
Chuck. Give it back. Give it up.
That's mine.
Did anybody first think where's that shot where you had them walking through the spears and the wise ones were
Right
had
here.
their faces covered?
It's up.
Oh, okay. Where are we going with it?
So 5
Okay.
points. 5 points to anybody in chat that when they went through and they said, the dead don't speak, or whatever it was that they said, if in your head you didn't scream, "We're in the spirit world, dumbass," from Young Guns, I'm just saying that's
Never
the first
seen
thing that
Young
popped in my head.
What?
When they were high on peyote, and they were like,
Oh my god.
like we're in the spirit world, dumbass.
Honestly, when you said that, I was like, I don't remember that from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No,
Nice. I thought of the characters from Rings of Power though, that wear all the white and do all the creepy stuff, and the way they speak, like it's almost like they entered into that vibe all of a sudden.
What is
Yeah, it was
Tavern
cool.
talking about? Dr. Gentech? I ask myself that all the time.
So
No.
I'm talking about the movie Young Guns. I think it might have been Young Guns 2, when they decided to take Chavez took them to smoke peyote to get visions to figure out what they were going to do, and then they end up riding high as crap through a bunch of stuff thinking that the people are ghosts.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty
You're
funny.
getting a lot of people laughing, and like, how did I not think of that? So you're not alone.
Okay, we've got a $5 super chat from Joe White. Thank you so much. How did Moraine know the Sakarnan was there? Does she have a specific use for it, or just general land for sea? I had that same question in my reaction video. Did she sense it? Because she
The
could
tree
feel it.
called to her.
You think that's what it was?
Remember when she said, "I can almost see the weaves, but I can't grasp them"?
Yeah.
Think about it. Latra used the Sarkonnen, which is the most, according to the show, the most powerful sign grill for women.
Yeah.
Right. I think they're getting rid of the other thing from the books.
Yeah, I think they are too. Yeah.
And so not only did she use it to channel the columns, I think she might have used it to create the mist and the fog and everything else. So it's just latent female one power Sidin. Sidar. Just in the fabric of Ruidian.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of called to her, like she could feel it. It was cool.
Light blinded fool
I like that,
Sakarnan,
actually.
even more mispronounced than the Jaden call. I agree.
Bro,
We're butchering.
It's so true.
Listen, we're
It's
not
true,
here
though.
for pronunciation, buddy.
Okay.
And listen, you have no room to say. Do you remember your score on the drunken spelling bee? I don't want to hear anything from you, light blinded fool.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm still the record holder though, right?
So the Sakarnan, what was the? I heard. Oh, I think yeah. So I feel like she had to have sensed it. She did not know it was there. I can't imagine she would have known it was there. That would have been like way back in the record books. And like, granted, maybe Swan. I don't know. No, I don't think. I think she sensed it. Didn't know it was
like
there.
it, yeah.
That's
read the weaves of the
read
pattern,
the weaves. Maybe
the
saw there were maybe
power. Yes.
residual weaves were powerful enough. I don't know. That's
And again, my favorite part, she pocketed it immediately.
And there was, you know what bothered me is that her pockets don't have zippers, and she got flipped upside down. So like,
they're deep.
What's going on with that,
pockets.
guys?
They look actually deep. Like she dropped
They
it.
did look deep.
Well, when she
Like, it
goes
was
up,
just
you
gone.
actually, when you go up, I don't know if it was just the cut of the fabric, but it almost looks like you see the bulge of her pocket, like of her skirt, when she's flipped back. It was really cool. Because I thought the
you? Oh, I
same
missed
thing.
that.
Did that not fall out? I was like, where is it?
Earlier in chat, I think it was Dana Lou who said this.
Okay.
or pointed it out. So she's going through the rings with that in her pocket. So is that intensifying her experience?
Oh, Jessica said I said it too. Muy malo to take that into the rings.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to say that Egwene's test was like there was a problem with it because the rings in the accepted test and the dream ring were like both World of Dreams related, and so they created some kind of resonance. So if they're not, related, because this is a Sa-Angreal, not a Terangreal, perhaps that's the difference.
Yeah.
And here we go talking like Wheel of Time metaphysics, like magic. That could be the difference.
Maybe her pockets are bigger on the inside.
Maybe there's
I don't know.
Someone said the pockets of holding.
there's
Nailed
a
it.
super special lining in the pockets that it's locked. So, okay, Dr. Gentek, and their official doctor knowledge says it's really hard for something heavy to thread the needle and hit the opening of the pocket. If it doesn't hit the opening, it stays in the pocket.
That's funny.
From the doctor's mouth to your ears.
MTB PS4 came up with a good comment. It says, seeing the Sarkhanen called the Choden Ball, if they were replaced, can we call Kalendor the Choden Blade? I'm for it. I say yes.
The Choden Ball. The Choden Blade, I think we need to workshop a little more.
Choden Blade.
Choden Ball's great.
Rejected.
No, I mean, I need it to be, because Choden Call, Choden Ball, it's perfect. Choden, I don't know. Yeah, because we could also play with, like, access key. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
feel free to spitball in the chat.
Yeah, MTV, come back and let us know what you come up with.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know you guys have it in you. Choden Blade's fine, but we could do better.
We can do better.
How do we feel about the fact that they're replacing the Shade and Call? Also, okay, so
I like it.
I know you guys know this, so this is two questions in one, but Mr. Kritter is a bit of a book cloak. He's a bit of a book cloak. And
it's okay.
He was mad last show about something.
He was annoyed at this episode because he's a book fan, and he was looking forward to the flashback / ancestral vision of the making of Kalendor, or the one that involved Kalendor and Luz Theron. Because he thought it would make he thought that the sequence didn't center around Rand enough, which I think is hilarious because it was all of Rand's ancestors.
Yeah, I was about to say it was all Rand.
But it wasn't Rand, it was his ancestors. But he thought like the Kalendor sequence was about Rand, right? Because the dragon is gonna draw Kalendor, etc., etc. And Luz Theron was involved, which is like Rand's past life. So how did we feel? Did we feel an absence from the flashbacks or like scenes that we missed out on that weren't in the books? Because I forgot that scene even existed personally, but Mr. Kritter did not. And then whatever we were talking about before. Also,
Winespring?
feel free to weigh in.
Yeah,
I didn't miss it at all, but now being reminded of it, kind of like you're saying, I kind of didn't remember it. I would love to have seen it, and I think that there is room when we experience Kalendor to get some of that somehow, maybe. Like maybe we didn't see everything that Rand saw as he was going through, and so they can give us a flashback if they so choose. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, one of the big things I did notice was missing from the Rand columns was I can't remember her name.
I know, the maiden.
That wanted to go with Lewin and Discount Matt, or I can't remember his name. And that whole scene with shortening the spear, right? So that was missing. But again, we were focusing on Rand, and I think I don't know if they're going to introduce that or if it even matters. We know that the Aiel fight with spears. We know that they fight with spears because it's not a sword, and they can use it to put food on the table. And for the purpose of the show, that might be enough. So it's kind of I think that for the show it might be enough. Maybe.
And as far as the Sakharnan, like having something smaller, I think that's great.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, we were also introduced to so many Terangrill and stuff, or we're going to be introduced, right, with the stuff that was taken from the 13th repository, that adding a giant ass freaking, magic item, that's the size of the freaking Statue of Liberty or whatever, it might be a bit too much. Yeah. I will say there was one thing.
I'm loving the Choden freaking Kalendor
talking about
nicknames. You guys are great. We've got Choden Rod, Choden Charger, Choden
I like
Staff.
Choden Rod because you have like the rod and the balls.
Oh wow!
And you know what?
It would be shaped like Tarvalon.
The people are not even remembering that a Kalendor scene happened, and you know what? Same.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's interesting. But
maybe he's misremembering. I don't know.
Did you guys notice the song before the song came out?
I don't think that's the song.
Yeah. Okay, so we had.
You don't? You said it was the song, right?
No, that was a
song
songs or whatever. Like that was the song of growing. It wasn't the song.
Okay, so regardless of whether it's the song or not, we got the song when Charn goes down, right, and goes to do the harvest with his people. We actually get that same song before that happens, in the scene where Jonai, all the other Aiel are like, "We're going south," and he's like, "No, I'm sticking with the way," or whatever. As the music is playing in the background, they superimpose the freaking song in the background.
Okay.
Yeah, which was really cool. Because she asked him, "Do you remember the song?" And he goes, "I remember the song." And then you hear it in the background slightly. It was really cool.
That is cool.
The Choden pull.
I'm sorry. The Choden Mandarb with Knuckles mustache.
Oh my god.
It means blade in the old tongue, guys.
That's fucking Knuckles, you win the internet.
There's so many layers to that. I love it.
Knuckle mustache wins the internet with that.
Boy, you gave them homework and they are delivering.
Yeah, his harvest song was the song, is what you guys are saying? I guess I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was the song. Now, I immediately reached out to Pavara.
Of course.
Immediately. And I was like, please tell me you know the song now. And her response was, I haven't watched. I'm on my way to my sister's to watch it now. And I'm like, I was so sad. I wasn't disappointed. I was not disappointed because I love Pavara and I know everybody's got a life, but fuck, I was sad.
That you spoiled that for her?
No, that she hadn't watched it. Listen, I didn't care about spoiling at that point. I needed to know what the song said.
Oh my god.
Well, I would think
check in first.
A true fanatic. And
okay, Mrs.
She's not.
Ange and Bella has a thing that I agree with. Am I the only one that thinks the song doesn't exist and never existed in the way the Tuatha believe it? And we've got some agreement. I think the song is a metaphor.
You hide your text, stranger. I've seen text like that in chill chat before.
I agree with you that I think the song is more an idea. It's not an actual song.
Yeah.
Random Gnome says it translates to 100 bottles of beer on the wall. I would doubt it. I would not doubt it.
The song is the feeling. Yes.
Or
yes.
This is the song that never ends.
Yeah, why would you do that to everybody watching? Stop.
You're welcome.
Rude.
Okay, and we should circle back though to the Choden Mandarb and the Choden Ball. They are replacing the Choden Call, the access keys.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, right? Because what we know, based on the books, full book spoilers, is that Kalendor is flawed.
Yes.
Not really a flaw. It's a feature, but Kalendor's complicated. It's unique. It's not just a sangreal in as many words, right? And so in the books, whenever they cleanse the taint, right, the male access key gets destroyed, as I recall.
Ooh.
One of the access keys gets destroyed. I'm pretty sure it's the male one.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure. And so the question is, like, is the female one going to get destroyed? Is nothing going to get destroyed? Is something weird going to happen when they're cleansing the taint because of the feature/flaw of Kalendor? Are they going to cleanse the taint at the same time that Rand seals the Dark One away? Like, what's going to be the vibe there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say, are they going to, like, if they do that scene, which I'm hoping they do the cleansing of the taint. At this point, I have no clue what the hell the show is going to do.
I know, I'm actually with you a little bit.
I really don't. So
in an enjoyable way.
Will they need Kalendor? Will they need the Choden Mandarb and the Choden Ball at that location?
Okay, it's the female one. My bad. I spoke incorrectly. Honestly, I think my favorite theory, because we only have 8 seasons and Book 11 is nobody's favorite, is or wait, it is book 10. No, Book 11, whatever the one they cleanse the taint in. Winter's Heart, which is Book 11.
It was before that.
It's Book 10.
It was before that. Yeah, it was
Winter's Heart, whichever one that is.
Yeah.
Anyways, the fact that that's nobody's favorite, the fact that cleansing the taint is a massive undertaking, part of me thinks that they're just going to wrap that straight up into the last battle.
Yeah, make it one big moment.
Right.
You think they're going to wait that, and so the payoff for the last battle is cleansing the taint?
The fact that Kalendor is the Choden Call,
but then that would negate the Black Tower.
I mean, the Black Tower would still
the Black
be
Tower
mad.
started with them being mad, but then it kind of cleared up. But would they be able to control the Ashaman if they're freaking mad like that? That's
Are we getting
huge
the
change.
Ashaman?
Oh, you stop talking blasphemous shit right now. We're getting the Ashaman.
Okay.
I agree that I would like
have
them to
my
close it
Ashaman
earlier.
coin. Damn it.
You know what? Maybe Kalendor's flaw will become obvious while they cleanse the taint. Maybe some crazy stuff's going to go down during the cleansing, and that's going to be like Rand being like, "Holy shit, this thing is broken," right? Like something like that.
Who do you think we're getting as Ashaman, by the way?
Who?
Yeah, because they're going to trim the fat on that like big time for the show.
I don't know. I mean, are you asking for fan casting or like? Are we gonna get Andral? What's the question?
That's the only name I thought of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Are we getting Narishma? Are we getting like all of those guys?
Gosh,
I hope so.
Yeah. Depends on how much time they give to it, I guess.
Sorry, I'm just reading chat.
Mel said, amazingly, I'm starting to agree with Tavern a bit.
No Asha. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No,
and I responded to Mel that's how I roll, compulsion. That's how it works.
Kara said, I think Nynaeve is going to cleanse the taint like Alana showing her to clean dirty water. That's interesting. And actually, you know what? Cool. Yeah, kind of.
That's
the mechanics work out.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Alan Jones says no Ashaman would make Dumai's Wells a letdown. And I tend to agree. And I want to say, didn't Rafe say he like envisioned Dumai's Wells being in season 5? Although I think, yeah.
I can see 5.
So
because
so
I think
far away.
I can see season 4 being a lot of Saladar.
They keep name dropping
all that stuff.
Taim also, so I think that's like going to be the precursor to the Black Tower. Like that might get started, like ramped up in season 4, and then season 5 comes to as well.
It's hard to even hear about season 5 when season 4 hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah, that's Sony,
true.
Amazon.
Have you guys come to the Time and Dread side of things yet?
Yeah. No, I think the 8th is Asmodean, and that Taim.
You think it's Asmodean?
Yeah. And then they're going to be a 9th. There's going to be a 9th, and it's going to be Time and Dread.
Interesting.
Well, apparently Rafe is like teased that like don't be married to the number 8, which makes sense because Taim came later, anyways. So
yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, but he says don't make 8. Don't get married to the number 8. But yet, even I think it was it this episode, or not this episode, this season where was it Elida that said send 8 sisters, or somebody mentioned something about sending 8 sisters. Which is opposite of the 13 that you would need normally, right, to shield someone. But they mentioned 8.
Maybe 8 is the magic number.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The
as well.
magic number. Anybody?
Oh,
Joe
good
White.
Good job.
$2 in the chat is the other side of Lord Luck, Patton.
What do we call him? Luke.
Loose.
No. We had names for him last.
I called him a dandy. I can't remember.
No,
dandy. That's what you.
Somebody called him. It wasn't lukewarm. It was Luke Luster. That was it.
Oh, that must have been in the fantasy stream. I don't remember that being on this stream. Maybe I'm wrong.
Luke Luster is pretty good.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good.
Yeah. It was Luke Luster because he is lacking. Luking. I don't know. There's something about Luke that just doesn't.
Well, we don't
doesn't scream Luke to me.
Honestly, because Luke was always like a POS in the books. Like Rand was always just like, or not Rand. Perrin was always just like, bruh. Like, who is this guy?
Bruh. Best line from Perrin. Lord of what?
Lord of what? Exactly. Well, no, one of my favorite lines from Perrin is obviously it's Perrin's internal dialogue, which I love. Yeah. But he's like, whenever Luke shows up, it's like Perrin immediately disliked him or something like that in the book. And so I mean, I think we all immediately disliked him.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
It was the hair.
Whatever they did with the hair, the mustache, whatever.
Yeah.
We were all just like,
yeah.
dude. So
that mustache isn't even a
to
real
answer the
mustache.
question, maybe I
For Patton Fane?
I don't think so, because Slayer in the World of Dreams, like Perrin would recognize Patton Fane, right? And Patton Fane has shown no ability with the World of Dreams. Not that we would have seen it, but I think we're gonna get either like a Lord Luke in the World of Dreams, so they don't look different, or it's gonna be some other rando.
Do you think we're gonna get Patton Fane at the White Cloak camp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Because we no. When I'm trying to think when this have they done the scene? Was it not? Didn't they do a scene with the White Cloaks where he said, where they after they captured Maddie, Coughlin and the girls, right? They cut the Valda, and even Dane was like, "No, I'm not going to harm them. They didn't do anything."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just didn't see.
He wasn't in it. He wasn't.
Yeah. Fane wasn't there.
So, Crow BR $2 super chat. Who will bring water to the desert?
Moraine. I think it's Moraine from the
with the
teaser
Choden Call.
With the Choden Ball.
The Choden Ball.
Yeah.
Got to the Sakarnat, the Choden Ball.
Yeah. Muad'Dib.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Is it Crowbar or is it Crow BR? I need to know because it's driving me nuts.
Crowbar.
I think it's Crowbar.
Or Crow Battle Royale. Are you a Call of Duty / Fortnite player?
Dana Lou says we've seen Fane dressed as a White Cloak in posters. I don't
with
know
Dane. With the one with Dane, right?
No,
I thought Fane was dressed kind of like lordly in the posters. That's how.
I didn't see that poster. Damn it!
Like the one with Fane and Dane together.
I did not see that.
He was dressed like a lord.
I've been away from the social medias for a few days.
You know what? That's probably healthy.
Well, it was my G baby's second birthday yesterday.
So that's exciting. Yeah. Okay, so I miss seeing the fountains in the Ruidan. Honestly, like I worry that it is going to be Moraine and that people are going to be like, yet again, a woman stealing something from Rand.
No, maybe they'll do it together.
Maybe.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, and no one will be mad.
Okay, so gosh, what else have we not talked about? That's
so. How'd y'all think about Moraine's acting in this episode and everything that she displayed?
Just incredible.
Oh my god. One, the face when she's hanging in the rings was pure terror.
Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah.
The pain, loss, hurt, and sorrow, and just like the apologetic look on her face when Rand gives her to Lan and she's still reaching for Rand was insane.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before when we were talking to Max, I believe, when we were saying that the acting isn't that great or whatever, and we were like, Josha and all these guys are acting fine, but when you bring in a Rosamund Pike, right, or Shora, that level of acting is so much higher.
Yes,
that when they do something like this, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, I thought Rosamund Pike did amazing, even all the way down to how she fell or when she was wounded.
Yeah.
It was so Moraine. Like in that moment, you weren't just watching a woman getting stabbed and falling. Like her body movements, she just moved like, I don't know. It was just so good.
No, it was incredible. Somebody mentioned this earlier, and I did notice this during the show. And I'm glad somebody mentioned it. I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was it Jessica? Anyways, that the vision in the rings where she basically submits to Rand, right? In the Two Rivers.
Oh my gosh.
Is the only scene where somebody doesn't die.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was a very interesting thing. I
working in it too.
There's the picture.
Yes, I pulled it up.
I don't think he's dressed like a White Cloak.
Not sure. Like,
I mean, look at the front of it. It's the same, isn't it?
Granted. Okay, so the things that are similar, right? These little like flower patterns, they're similar. Yeah. Sorry, am I doing it in the wrong? I'm doing it in the wrong place.
You're right.
The little flower patterns are similar.
Yeah, it's very similar.
He's got the rope around his neck. Is that similar to what the questioners had?
Questioner. That's a questioner outfit because he's got the red too.
Okay, the questioners have red. Is that a thing?
I think they do. I think the questioners had some red.
And
Plus
doesn't
he's
he have
got-
something on his lapel, right?
It's like he's got like a capelet type thing going over his shoulders. It looks like a little capelet. That's where the rope comes from, and it's very cardinal-like, almost like what I said about Shora's Elida when she walked in.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it is.
I'm looking at his belt. I'm trying to figure out what his belt is doing.
Well, look at Dane's belt. Dane's belt is very similar.
No, this doesn't have a sunburst
Holding up
on
his
it.
pants.
No, but that would be on the left chest, not the right.
What?
The sunburst is on the left.
Oh, I see. No, I know. I'm looking at their belts.
Oh yeah,
the
no,
belts
the
are
belt.
different.
Yeah, no, the belts are different. But it definitely that's not a crook. I don't know what the hell that is.
Maybe it's a.
But it's
questioner.
interesting. I hadn't seen this picture, so that's awesome.
Okay. I didn't put that together, but you're possibly right. Maybe he is dressed up as a questioner.
Yeah, because the
So
belts
he's
are
going to
similar.
show up into the two sticks.
Oh, a
with
group
that.
photo of the antagonist. Okay, I'll see if I can find that. But interesting. So yeah, I think he'll be there for sure, and I think he's probably going to take a band of
Yes, yeah, I hadn't seen this shot, so yeah,
meanies
for sure.
and do his own thing and be evil like he is.
Do you said something in a previous show about Fane, and you believe that Fane is actually going to possibly take out the Ibaras?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's interesting. I thought they survived the show. I would like them to survive the show because Perrin's been through too much.
Right?
Yeah, it would be a lot of damage for Perrin. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm just like, I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that it won't.
Do we know who the people who there was a male and female they said came through the way
Right,
gate?
I think it was Alana and Maxim because he said he smelled ashes and she's got ashes on her face.
Yeah,
Okay, so not Pat and Fane and a female.
I don't think
No, we talked about this because remember, I actually said that what if it was Luke and Fail?
Yeah, I mean we've talked about it a lot.
yeah,
like,
we've
what
talked
if it's
about it.
Pat and Fane and some female?
True. Yeah.
If he's there in the Two Rivers,
One of the
it's
Forsaken.
possible, but the fact that
One of the
Perrin says he smells
Forsaken.
ashes makes me think that it's Alana.
I tend to agree with you, Kritter. But I think to me it was too much on the nose. But it also could be that they're really honing in on Perrin's wolf brother senses now.
Okay, everyone, you got me. He's got the sunburst on his chest. I think
right.
I think Pat and Fane's a wet cloak. Well done, people.
oh
Nice
man,
job.
I just started watching The Expanse, as in like I've only seen like 2 episodes.
Have you
of
never
the
watched
first
it before?
season. Never watched it
Oh,
before.
it's so good.
And Shora is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, she's incredible in that show.
yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely the sunburst cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Huh.
well done.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, he kind of infiltrates and becomes different things throughout the books. I'm hoping it's not just for show on the show because we really haven't seen the Pat and Fane from the books show up yet. I keep saying show. But we haven't seen him, right? We have a character named Pat and Fane, but he's definitely not what we got in the books.
Oh, I was trying to get this
No, you're good.
frame that somebody asked about, and it's hard to get.
Bye, Mike. MA diving says they're out. See you later. Have fun doing what you do.
I'm trying to get it, but it's hard. Sorry, guys.
I'm trying to think.
I missed it again. It's so fast. It's so fast. How does
got
one
this.
go frame by frame
I
in
was-
Amazon? You guys keep talking.
No, I'm trying to think. Of, there
Actually,
was
you guys-
something
I'm
that I
gonna-
wanted to ask you guys, and I can't.
I'm
think
gonna
of it
show
right
you
now.
guys my efforts here. It's
You're
gonna be
good.
okay. Nobody panic. Nobody.
All right,
panic.
let's see. Any questions from chat right now that you have that you would like to
Dang
know?
it! No, it's fine. Nobody worry about me.
Wow, that is so animated and it's amazing.
I'm trying
Are you
so
not?
hard.
Oh, you're not clipping this, Winespring?
Well, now it's been noted, so it'll be easy to find.
You're welcome. Oh yeah, we need to talk about the freaking hole.
Oh my gosh, I love that you're bringing that up. Watching it again today for the second time, hearing that sound of when it's like reality is ripping is so good. Good
You
job.
did it.
Good
I
job.
got it.
Good job.
You did it.
It does. Okay.
I want to know how they made the sound. Like what?
Oh my gosh.
What
Did
is
that
that?
not remind me? Okay, so I actually just watched Annihilation, and if you haven't seen it, it's it's Natalie Portman, based on Jeff Vandermeer's Area X novels, whatever. But
Okay.
the music there is like
It
it kind of
was like
Beautiful.
it's like Encounters of the was it that movie with the alien movie with
Close
Richard
Encounters
Dreyfuss?
of the
Close
Third
Encounters of the Third Kind. It was very musical and also Charlie Brown and Cybertron.
Okay, so what are we feeling about this inside of the? It did.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Oh my gosh,
That is stunning.
this is Daniel who completely agree. Sound design wild. It reminded me of Dune. It reminded. I've said this in my reaction video. It reminded me of Blade Runner 2049. Like Denis
Blade Runner,
Villeneuve.
yes.
Like
Yeah.
so good.
And Garth Van Bell calls out something that I agree with 100%. Yo, this looks like the true power when Lanfear uses it in season 2. This screams taint to me.
Yeah.
Light Blinded Fool says that looks like neurons or blood cells.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing.
Dr. Gentek says I wasn't going to be able to do it, so.
Oh,
who's wrong now?
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to call it out and say the bad words.
Don't do it.
Don't. I just sometimes when people don't believe in me, it makes me
go
excel.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at you. You're the little engine that could. Look at you.
Exactly.
You killed it.
This is a wild image, and I
It's
agree.
insane.
It's giving true power. It's giving evil. It's giving cells. There's a lot. Yeah.
It's so cool. Like I said,
And it's so layered too.
It screams taint. Like when you look at Rand channeling, and you see the clumps of black rolling around.
Andrel. Did you see what he said?
What
It's
did
like the
Andrew?
Truman Show ceiling shattered.
Yeah.
I totally see that.
100%.
Good call out. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. That was very interesting.
Did we also get Sauron vibes from it? The big eye in the sky?
I didn't.
Because it looks like an eyeball. One, you have the Sharom that looks like an eyeball, and then it falls, and then you have what looks like a black pupil that's all shattered. Which
I saw Death Star for sure.
Like
Death
Death Star is what I was
pretty
saying.
easy.
Did we catch the okay, so what are the helicopters? Are those show cars? The
Show wings.
Oh, flying underneath.
Did you see them flying underneath the
Yeah.
shore?
Yeah.
I don't know that I saw that.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're super
Sometimes
tiny.
It's like 3, I think, right?
Yeah, like 2 or 3. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Oh, it's also reminding people of the Blight Forest, which would make sense because
Yeah.
the Dark
Blight
One's
Forest.
guys.
Yes. Whoever
That is
put
very
that.
true.
We did get some
Wow.
Saw and Lanfear's Eyes in season 2.
Yep.
That look just like those. Yeah.
So the boar didn't cause the taint, correct, but the taint was caused by the Dark One, and the Dark One was on the other side of the boar, so they are, in my mind, inherently related.
So this is what I picture when we talk about the taint, right? The Luce Theron and his 100 companions hit the boar with the one power, right? The male half of the one power, because the women didn't join them. And what the taint is, in my mind, is feedback. They attacked it with the one power, there was a surge, and feedback kicked through and tainted the male half of the power. And that's how I picture it to make sense to me. And so now we have this resonating taint anytime a male channeler, does his thing, that is still kind of going through. But again, that's how I have to make it make sense to me. Because other than that, it just doesn't make any sense.
Okay. What an interesting image. Whoa.
It's so cool. Go back to the eyeball, to the video that you had up.
The video, the episode.
Oh, never mind. I thought you had a clip.
No, this is the episode. I just pulled it up because I wanted
That's
to see
fine.
this thing.
Never mind then.
No,
Easy
it's
peasy.
okay. I kind of want to keep this up because I want to screenshot it later. So,
Yeah, right.
Because it was hard to get. So, all right, we're getting to the end of the road here.
Okay, so 1 to 10. How are we rating this? So Max said 8. So, and let's just think about just this season, not every episode, just this season. Like, how would you?
Oh, the season?
Should we do the season and overall episode
I
rate?
kind of hate giving things 1 to 10 rankings. So
Really?
I'm gonna let
We
you
can
guys
skip it.
I'm gonna
We
let
can
you
skip
guys
it.
go, and
No
then
pressure.
I'll weigh in. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to be nailed down, to anything. I like to be.
Winespring asked, I'll go first, and I guess she can go, and then you finish it up, because mine will be real quick. I originally said that episode 1, when we saw the fan, was pretty much almost flawless. They have continued as a whole to be outstanding. You can clearly see the money that was put into it now, because the first 11 minutes we got originally was more special effects than the entire first 2 seasons. And now we see how much more they've done in this season. So overall, for the entire season, I'm still going to say 9.5, 9 point. It's pretty high. And as far as episodes go, it literally is a toss up between the first and this one for favorite.
Oh yeah.
Because that first one was freaking amazing.
Because of the opening scene?
Well, not just the opening scene, the entirety of the first episode was pretty freaking.
We got the bubble of evil. We got the people.
Yeah.
We got
the gray men.
Yeah.
Oh.
Elena and Avienda.
Them showing us that they're not following the books exactly with the Lanfear Moraine hookup or partnership. Yeah, it's they're definitely keeping us on our toes, which is good. No, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying for people that have read the books, you have to keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Right? Because we know, and they're doing a damn good job of it. So
yeah.
Okay, 9.5 out of 10 on the season.
Yep.
Roger, Winespring.
So for me, this episode is 10 of 10 because I enjoy sci-fi so much.
Yep.
Getting that blended in like in such a beautiful way, from the imagery, the costuming, the accent changes, Yosha's acting phenomenal. 10 of 10 definitely. I think maybe overall my favorite episode of the show altogether so far. It'll be hard to top it, I think, for me. The only episode I anticipate potentially being better is series finale, Do My As Wells, and if we get the Finn, because that could be another one that kind of touches that sci-fi area, that weird vibe that is just, I hope they do a good job with.
A Finn episode might topple everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
10 of 10. Number 1 episode of the season for sure.
And the season as a whole, did you rate that or am I missing it?
Oh, I mean, it would be like, top for me. For sure.
No, I mean, like, as like if
the
you
whole
had to rate the
season.
season 0 out of 10.
So your episode was 10 out of 10. What's the whole
The
season so far? Yeah, so far.
I think 8's good. A good balance there.
Nice.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely enjoyed it. Definitely. Yeah.
So I'm over here like I love.
Am I gonna have to ask you to hide your face again?
No, I loved this episode. Honestly, my reaction video was probably the most boring reaction video I've done to date because I was literally sitting there like.
Yeah.
I was,
you couldn't blink.
I was
blink.
Fixated. I was so into it, and so there's that.
Fixated is a great word for that. Yes.
Yeah. So I loved it. I agree with Tav that episode 1 was so exciting and like fun and entertaining that like that's up there. Those two are like really close, but the book nerd in me probably put episode 4 at the top. I think I probably I'll have to do a watch of the whole season once it's over just to firmly establish what's going on. Obviously, I missed.
I'll have to do a ranking episode.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, this was very Rand Moraine heavy, and I love all the characters. So as Max was saying, the fact that we didn't have all of them was like but it was perfect because it was so focused and beautiful that it wouldn't have been as good if it had other characters. So it's just there's a lot that goes into this episode, and I loved it. Love. This season is the best season of The Wheel of Time.
100%.
And 4 episodes in, the best season of fantasy television that I've seen in a very long time. My favorite that I've ever seen, obviously. Yeah. But then I have to think about obviously Game of Thrones in its heyday was another.
But that was fantasy.
Yeah, this is
not fantasy sci-fi
fantasy.
Yeah.
Right.
Even
bringing that sci-fi in, let's go.
Well, and not to mention the budget differences, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to be objective, there's there are some seasons of Game of Thrones that were really impressive.
Yes.
But this one has my heart, not my mind. So that's where I'm at.
Love that.
Yeah.
It needs both.
Well, I mean, it has both, obviously, but I don't want to marry myself to this is the best season of fantasy television I've ever seen in my entire life because what if
it's not over yet?
It's not over yet. It's 4 episodes in, and 4 episodes in, it is a contender. It could be a contender.
Real quick, a quick PSA. Folks, we have almost 300 people in this chat and watching the stream.
We had more than 300 earlier.
We did have more than 300, so thank you for that. Also, there is a like button. I'm not telling you to hit it. I'm asking if you like what you're seeing. Hit that like button. We got like 130 likes, and there's over 300 people. We've had over 300 people, so let's smash that like button. Number 2, there was a very good question.
I'm gonna like it real quick
from
myself.
and Winespring. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this person's name, because Tribe of Pug is an outstanding name.
It is.
And their question was, y'all, you think will Loyal find love?
This is full book spoilers.
This is full book spoilers.
So it's Aerith, right? Is who we're waiting for?
So I think, yeah. I think the maidens like teasing him about Maiden's Kiss is our like way to tee up like,
yeah,
that's not what he's into. He's into a bookish ogier whose ears are just right.
Yep. And we know, okay, I have a very strong feeling that we are going to get a full all out ogier like episode, because they've already started pushing the longing. They've introduced the longing, and we know that everybody's going to be like, "Oh my God, Loyal's not feeling good. We need to get him healthy," because everybody loves Loyal, and so we're going to get an ogier steading, and we're probably going to get that whole Aerith thing and everything. To go.
I don't know that it's going to be an entire episode, but
I
agree with
you know
me
what I mean. It's a
that
story.
We're going to get a C plot of Loyal.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Winespring. Oh man, it's actually been like pretty consistent today. So I'm kind of like pleased that this is the first time that we've lost her. Hey, we're back.
We lost you for a second.
I know. I just wait.
Whenever that happens, can you hear us?
No. Well, it depends. The bubbles of evil are very strange and unpredictable.
Because I don't. Yeah, I'm in like a whole different. Like I'm not in the chat room that you guys are in while this is happening. All I see is the stream, and so I just see you vanish.
Interesting. That's a good point. Yeah.
Last time when we had the disappearances, Winespring and I would end up on the same screen, so we thought we were still on the stream and you were gone, but in reality, we were gone.
That's honestly like, because whenever I bring you back and you're still talking, I'm like, wait, can they still hear each other? Like, what's going on?
Each other, but not you.
Streamlabs. What are you gonna do? Bubbles of evil. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all right. I think it's time that we give our goodbyes. This was lovely. Max is so great. I thank you for introducing us to him, him to us. Winespring is amazing. Best.
I put in years of work to get Max to finally. You guys, I could tell stories of how much of I harassed my poor nephew because I knew he would love it. I knew it. And it just took a lot of just wonderful, loving, familial harassment.
Pressure. Okay.
And now he's like, can we talk about this? He texts me after he watches it. You know, I love it. It's
That's
perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point out that Bane is into dad bods.
Bane. Oh.
Bane's into everything, right?
She is kind of in there. Unexpected thing for the Wheel of Time show. I wasn't expecting Bane and Xiao to be as thirsty as they are. I think I've said this before, but they're awfully thirsty.
I love them. They're so
I think
fun.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's amazing.
They were always playful, right? But in the books they were like flirting with Gaul, and now they're flirting with everyone,
which is very upsetting. I'm still pissed off about that.
I'm still hoping we're gonna get Gaul. I'm still hoping we're gonna get Gaul. Maybe we'll get Gaul if we have a Fayul kidnapping plot, which would be so unpopular with people.
But we're not gonna get that, right?
Okay, it's fine. Maybe not. Okay, we need to.
My final thought is that
please.
we're not gonna get a kidnapping scene. We are gonna get steading and love for Loyal, and that we're gonna get the Finn, and it's gonna blow this episode out of the water. It's gonna be so good.
All signs are pointing to the Finn.
Yep.
A lot more signs than I was expecting to see for the Finn.
Thank goodness.
A lot.
You can't leave something so cool out. So, or at least I hope they don't. So yeah.
I agree.
That's my final thought.
Somebody mentioned earlier that they're still wondering about Elida's bracelet, and I hope we get an answer to that.
I mean, we have to. Like, they wouldn't be like, "Here's this bracelet," but we're not going to tell you. Okay, Tav, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Outstanding show. I'm really looking forward because Lan. I want to see where the story is going with him and Melindra. And the backstory that we're going to get about Malkier through that's going to be super exciting because we really didn't get a lot in the books. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Okay. Love that. Winespring what?
Gall is the IO we met along the way.
No.
Gall is
That
all of
Arcade
us.
76. I read that and I was like, wow, that's
R.I.P. No, I've still got faith. I'm still hoping.
job.
I'm hoping we'll find him somewhere.
We bury our dead and we move on, Winespring.
That
we
was
go on.
oddly applicable. Okay. No, Scott Stroud, Elida, Catswain wore the Terangrials, or
Yeah.
the Sa. Yeah, Terangrial, the
hairnet.
hairnet, whatever it was called.
hairnet.
God, there was a name for it.
It was, and I can't remember. So
It's fine. I've been on.
it's the Choden hairnet.
My brain has been everywhere today. Okay, so my final thoughts are: this was super fun. Max is amazing. I'm excited to see what happens next. The fact that the next episode is called Teleron Riode has me thinking we're going to get an Egwene episode, which
yay.
you know I love.
A good one. Yeah.
I think Yosha did an incredible job this episode, as he really, really got the chance to flex his acting muscles, whereas like angsty Rand hasn't always given him that opportunity. And yeah, I loved this episode so GD much. It is unreal, and I want to watch it over and over again. I think it was beautiful. I think it was perfectly executed. I wish we would have gotten the maiden origin scene, but you know, I wish it were 2 hours instead of 1 hour. But we can't always get what we want, right? So I'll just end with a petition for Sony and Amazon to please, for the love of the creator, renew season 4, season 5, season 8. Renew them all.
We're like 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. What the hell?
We want
What
more.
do they want?
We want more.
Let's earn it.
Yeah, they're making us earn it, and I hope we are. And I appreciate everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for talking and interacting. This was so much fun. And don't miss the Wheel and Chill show every week during the season. Next week, we should be having Maggie as our show-only guest, my cousin Maggie, as you'll recall. And we'll definitely follow up with her about how she's feeling about Rand after this episode.
Anti-Rand Maggie. Actually, we've had almost everybody not like Rand.
So poor Rand, y'all.
This is tough.
Yeah.
it
So
is.
again, thank you all for being here. We're gonna peace out now. Y'all are the best. Until next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.